complain about that in the past, and I don't blame him if he's not using text.
Oh, we're live. Anyway, this is Wes. We're gonna wait for you people to get in here now. I was gonna play music and stuff, but I couldn't get Wes Wind to sing for us. So you always have to deal with me sitting here making random noises that make no sense. If I can find the little chat window, I'll bring it up in case anybody comes in. Hey, look, Dad's in here. Look at that. Dad, you're like the gold medalist. You finally won the gold medal, dude. How's that feel? See, Dad could walk further than us, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank. Hey, Mrs. West. Haven't seen you in ages. How's life treating you? Oh. And then Frank is the silver, and Mrs. is the bronze, and we don't have a sheriff, so we can't start yet. We need to start this till we get like 4 people in here. And, well, I'm talking interested in the chat or whatever. Like them lurkers. Lurkers are bad for us. We do actually have a thingamajigger. Who read the title to the live stream before they came in? And how many of y'all are now scrolling down the page to see what the title was? I mean, what if we were going to talk about how to become a successful communist? So y'all would have like just clicked on it. I don't even care. I ain't no big into read learning. I don't even know what them pictures on the page mean. Anyway, today's podcast. Oh, and welcome everybody. Say hi to West Wind Survival. Wayne with West Wind Survival is with us here because he knows more about walking than I do.
Evening, everyone.
Hey, he goes, can I follow your BOL? I didn't even know how to follow mine. I'm not even sure what BOL is. Booski, hey, how's it going? Just Dave, what's up? Hey, I missed your live streaming. That's not fair. I missed it by like seconds, dude. C103 and Wayne's texting. Guess I didn't know it.
Oh, I gotta turn that vibrating thing off. I was trying to.
Are you telling them hi in the chat?
Yeah, saying hi in the chat, and like this vibrating thing, I keep turning it off. It turns itself back on.
Yeah, it's annoying. There's Chipper. Okay, I guess. How many is it show we got in here now, babe? 10. Okay, 10's a good number. We're going to start this. Basically, I hear people talking about, well, I've got a 72-hour bag, and that'll get me to my bug-out location. Okay, where is your bug-out location? 72 hours of a life in your bag. Well, if you've got supplies for 72 hours, then in theory, you actually have about 6 days before you fall down dead. Because, well, you've only got water for 72 hours. So after day 3, you don't have any water left. So you better hope you can find some more water. That's why we all carry the live straw or the mini Sawyer or whatever, Sawyer mini or whatever. Plug the wrong name now. Anyway.
Go
ahead.
I said that's only 60 miles if you're not broken too.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're bugging out 60 miles. There you go. I mean, and he nailed that. I mean, a person in shape.
Round is a shape.
Round is a shape. A person in excellent physical condition. And I forgot to write this down. No, I didn't. The on the Appalachian Trail and stuff like that, where people are like, I'm going to have a life. I'm going to put a backpack on and I'm going to walk 1,600 miles or whatever it is. Not really. I want to do that, but I want I want like a battery charger for my chair. So, but anyway, those people are in good shape. They only make 20 miles a day on a trail designed to be walked. That's walked all the time. So you're looking at 20 miles a day if you're walking. How many? Let's do a. Well, Wayne, you said how far is it from your soon-to-be abode to your dream home for Tiawaukee? How far is it?
Um, I'd say we're about 8 to 10 hours in a car, and hopefully, my hope is to make it at least most of the way there if we have to walk, because there's no way I'm walking there. It's part of the reason we like it and chose it, is because it's a small mountain range surrounded by deserts, and I don't think anybody can actually walk there.
Yeah, that's it. I was there's actually a piece of real estate that I considered that's about 200 miles from here. I mean, I can get it really cheap, and it's got the resources I need on it or whatever, but it's 200 miles. Uh, and it's so remote that, even if I built a cabin out there and this, that, and everything and had the stuff, I mean, people would realize I was going out there. They would see my truck springs sagging and going in and my truck standing up coming out. They would know I'd be putting stuff down there because small towns notice everything. There's always that guy on the porch, okay, or gal or whatever. So there's been people in this community that's had their preps alleviated from them. And that's how they do it. The people notice you going in heavy and coming out light. And like, oh, I wonder what's at the end of that road. And there you go. If you're not there, there's nothing you can do about it. So, but I got started thinking about it, and how much does it take to walk somewhere? Um, how many calories do you think you burn? Let me just put the whole thing out there to you, Wayne. What do you think it would take to walk? Say you made it within 100 miles, 150, let's say 125 miles. You made it within 125 miles of your location. You had plenty of food and water. You think? I mean, how much weight do you think you'd have to tote to make it there? Because you ain't got no choice. You're walking across a desert. So whatever you need, you're gonna have to take with you.
Yeah, that's part of the problem now with the desert in the Southwest, with everything being dammed. All the rivers that used to feed the estuary, or not estuaries, but the streams and stuff that would actually go through the desert, everything's dammed up and it's dry now. So you would have to have water on hand. So most likely you'd have to have a cart to pull the water, and you're looking at 5 to 10 to 20 miles a day, depending on physical condition, what's going on. Mrs. S made a good point. If you're trying to hide from someone or something, you're going to make a lot less time too. And you're looking at, you know, whatever it is to maintain. If you're at 2,500 calories a day or 3,000 calories a day, whatever you need to maintain, you're going to have to add 500 calories on top of that so you don't lose an unhealthy amount of weight while you're walking there and become weak.
The See, and that's run those numbers for the calories by me again.
Depending on your situation, what you need to maintain your body weight, you're probably going to have to add 500 calories to that per day so you don't drastically lose weight in a manner that makes you weak.
Yep, and that's dead on. But and these are not my numbers. I'm not a dietitian. or physical trainer or anything like that. But in case y'all didn't know, I got rained out most of the week, so I've had plenty of time to research stuff. And people keep talking about, do you have enough food stored? And dadgummit, do y'all have any? I mean, I used to think a year's worth of food was a lot. Guess what? A year's worth of food is a super duper lot. Um, on average, well, not on average. Well, on average, a human being in reasonably good health, to be alive. I mean, that's breathing, eating, drinking, pooping, sleeping, processing oxygen, having brain waves, all the stuff it takes just for your body to be alive is $2,500 or 2,500 calories a day. Okay. That's, whether you're, somewhere between 5 foot and 7 foot, and you weigh somewhere between 86 pounds and 250 pounds. Okay. That's an average. I know it varies. I mean, it's like y'all really didn't want all of those numbers. 2,500 just to be alive. In addition to the 2,500 it takes just to be alive. And this is from the research they've done on the people doing that Appalachian walks and stuff like that, the big cross country deals and everything. You need an additional 2,353 calories on average a day on top of the 2,500 to walk. That's just for walking. Then for setting up camp, preparing your meals, all the stuff that you have to do to be on the trail, you need an additional 1,500 calories for a grand total of 6,353 calories to walk 20 miles in not SHTF. 6,350 to maintain your weight. Hey, Sim, Phil M. Rivers and W. Moore Electric and everybody else that I missed because I was yakking. That's crazy. I mean, did you have any idea it was that high? No flipping clue.
It's it's difficult to eat that much. You know what? When I used to be in really good shape and go to the gym a lot and work out, I tried to eat 3,800 calories a day. And it seemed like between 6 meals a day and snacks, it seemed like that's all I was doing was eating.
That's why calorie rich people don't realize when they sit down, okay, they go to McDonald's and they eat McGriddle. Wait a minute, what's my favorite? Sausage McMuffin with egg. Oh my gosh, I love that. The hash brown and the large orange juice. My mouth is watering. That is like 12 or 1,300 calories. The amount of calories in that stupid little sandwich and stuff. It's crazy how many calories are packed into that little breakfast. Okay. Then you have, I lied, 700 and something calories. And then at lunch, you go somewhere and you order a chicken fried steak with a baked potato and whatever. By the time you drink the sugar in your coffee, your sodas all day, your afternoon snacks, and by the time you get through taking in all your calories a day, though the human body only needs 2,500 to 3,200 calories a day, most people intake upwards of 4,500 calories a day when they're moderately active. It's the kind of food you have to. That's why people are like, oh, I've got this powdered peanut butter. Regular peanut butter with the oil and everything in it, a jar has, I forget how many calories, but then you take and cut that by 2/3. All the calories are gone out of the dehydrated peanut butter. You saved weight, but you also just ripped yourself off a day's worth of calories. We no longer store dehydrated peanut butter. It doesn't have its shelf life is not nearly as good as regular peanut butter, and they've taken all the food out of it. People store tuna in water because, oh, I just can't eat that other stuff. Guess what? The tuna in water doesn't have, it's, 70 calories compared to 125 or 130 calories. Same weight, same package.
You you can you can work with overcoming that too by depending on what you carry. You carry some of those meal replacement shakes that they sell, the weight gainers and stuff, have a ton of calories in them.
Yep.
You could pack up individual mixes that you can mix with your water. The Roman army, for example, they marched on nuts. They carried a lot of nuts to help feed the army while they marched because they're really high in calorie and healthy fats. One of the smarter things I saw was a Savage Survival. I think he threw a jar of peanut butter in his survival bag for that reason.
Just a just a little, a jar of peanut butter, one of the small ones. Just put it in there. I mean, you've literally, eat a big spoonful 3 times a day. Make sure you got some water. But yeah, the people think that, okay, I've got me. This is me. I'm fixing to call myself out. Okay, I've got 6 granola bars, 6 packs of tuna fish, and what was my other stuff? Anyway, I have this many calories in my bag. I had 72 hours worth of calories. No, dude, that's like 30 hours worth of calories. I don't have enough calories. I'm not going to starve to death if I've only got to make, uh, 72, if you got 72 hours of life, that's 3 days, you're only making 20. As long as you are 60 miles, within 60 miles of your departure point, you're okay. And Just Aids says he can make it in bicycles. Yeah, that dies the fire, or whatever. Their armies were traveling on bicycles because, well, yeah, they were faster and you cover more ground. And they're actually saying that the guys on the bicycles could run down the guys on horses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
I remember
reading that.
reading
I
that.
forgot
I forgot
about that. That was a
about that.
while
That was a
ago.
while ago.
I mean,
I
Matt
mean,
Graham, he did a race against a horse on foot and he beat the horse over distance.
yeah, because a horse is not a machine. Chipper on this over there in the chat because I know you know horses and quit lurking. All right. A horse is not a machine. They require water. They require rest. They require food. They require attention. They're not, you can't just put gas and oil in them and drive the piss out of them. I mean,
A horse requires almost as much attention as a child if you're riding it every day and taking care of it.
what do you call it? What the Indians didn't have a word for horse, so they called them big dogs.
Yeah, big dogs.
And
Chia. I can't think of the name right now.
uh, the
Give me
Indian word for horse, giant chihuahua.
um, give me a minute to think about it. Brain farted.
If I was confident, I would load up my fatty and oil-rich perishables. Oh yeah, yeah. I would, while I was walking away from the house, I would be eating raw bacon out of the fridge. I'd be like, nom 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 nom. And trust me, bacon is. If you got a package of bacon in your refrigerator, grab it and take it with you. Because if you just bought it that day, it can set in that bag in your backpack for 24 hours. It's until you open it, you don't got to worry about it getting cooties. Okay. Then after you open it, eat it. They used to carry salt pork around for days, weeks, months. You know, that's the reason they put the salt on. That's the reason bacon is salty, is to keep stuff from getting in it. You know, it's not going to last forever. Okay, I'm not saying that. Now, I'm not telling you to do that nowadays. I'm talking if, you know, you got two choices. You can eat bacon that's been in your backpack for 3 days, or you can starve to death. I choose the bacon that's a little squishy because it's really not going to be iffy.
See, the Navajo word for horse is Billy, which basically means big dog.
Say it again.
Billy, it's big dog.
Bleh. Did Chipper ever say anything, or did he go off to eat lunch or supper? Or
no, he said that he would be back.
Oh, okay. So I called him out for nothing. Let's all talk about Chipper. He's not here.
He said, gotta run for a few. Don't say anything interesting until I get back.
Oh, that's messed up. And then we started talking about horses, which is his thing. Anyway, where were we at? Yeah. The actual for, what did I write down? Yeah, a 400-mile trip. According, and these were scientists, you know, people that study this stuff, that have studied the people, I mean, thousands of people that have made this trip down that little Appalachian thing or whatever. I used their numbers to come up with this number. A 400-mile hike requires 40,000 calories. Where are you going to come up with, if you're more than an hour drive away from your BOL, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, in Texas, average speed 65 miles an hour. So you're looking at hour and a half. If you're more than an hour and a half drive away, you're looking at being out of food and water before you reach your BOL, unless they say you can push 30 miles a day. But the only guys that were pushing the 30 miles a day were guys that were in excellent physical, the people that do marathons and stuff, that were just doing the hike on a kind of like I'm going to do this now because I did the other. Some of them were actually using the hike as a training thing for the marathons that they do. What, Jason Ryder?
A lot of poor countries will add fat to their food to double their calorie intake. It's cheap. You have to have a lot of animal fats to eat. Have a vegetarian class.
Yeah, vegetarians and vegans, they're toast.
Yeah, vegans ain't gonna last long, or they ain't gonna be vegans.
They're either going to stop being vegan and vegetarian, or you're going to find a bunch of really skinny skeletons hugging trees with their tongue bone stuck to the bark.
Ain't even gonna make good long pork.
No, they're like, no bacon on that one. They use them for what's that little thing that you hit with a stick and it goes ding 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 ding? Xylophone? Is that what it is? That's messed up, man. That's morbid. Anyway, yeah. I have in my prepper seeds. I pulled these out. It's funny. I have lettuce seeds. Why would you deliberately prep to grow diet food?
It's not iceberg.
It's not iceberg, but still, I'm not gonna work my butt off growing. I want a salad. I got to pull some leaves off the weeds. The more you study this kind of stuff, the more you find out, wow, we waste our lives. I mean, people are like, oh, I'm going to start eating a salad for lunch. Why don't you just like switch from water, boom, weight loss, almost automatic. Um, but I digress. That's not what this is about. How many people in the chat actually thought that the calorie count for bugging out was going to be that high? Now, remember, when you get to your BOL, you still have to be able to function. While you don't starve to death, okay, it takes forever to starve to death. It does not take forever for your brain to get stupid from lack of calories.
No, that's one thing people don't take into account too. You won't even make the 3 days without water if you're not eating because with a lack of calories, you'll be too weak to even move around and find food.
Yeah, and they feed off each other. One deficit feeds off another deficit. If you're eating but you don't have the water, your body takes the water from your digestive tract takes the water from your body to digest the food, which hastens your dehydration. So yeah, you've got to, and I've got to kill the camera. I just lit up our mirror. Oops, my bad. Y'all just deal with it. That's a good picture. I look good in that picture. Um, if you I mean, you've accelerated your own death by eating your food because you didn't want to. Oh, I've got a life straw. I'll be able to find water. Uh,
Yeah, that life straw is I wouldn't use that if I had it unless I had absolutely no means to filter or boil water because you still got to crawl down in there, crawl around on the rocks or your knees or in the mud, get your face down in there. It's not it's it's the kind of very last thing you should try to use.
yeah, the one I got though, it's cool. My wife got it for me because she loves me and because I'm a super awesome husband. And um, you pour the water in the jug, you scoop it up out of the ditch, and then you put your lid on it, and you just suck it straight out of the can.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
Because I really, you're right. I don't want to like put the straw in my mouth, lean over and go, "Hi, Mister Rattlesnake.
I
What's
mean, there
up?"
might. I was thinking, if you take a siphoning hose like you buy in the auto store, you might be able to fit the end of the hose around the end of the life straw and be able to pump water into a bottle or something.
Yeah, and see, that's something I'm actually really curious about. They've got those little hand pumps where you drop there's like a tube with a pre-filter on it, and then you pump it, and it pumps it through from the first filter basically just stops the sand and stuff,
Yeah,
pumps the water up through another filter, and goes straight into your canteen or whatever. And the water after it makes it through those two filters, it's clean. I think you can get one, and they're only like $60 or $70, and they're
you
not
could
heavy.
you could probably do it with a Sawyer Mini if you set it up to be an inline filter,
Yeah.
because there's guys that use those on their camelbacks.
60 miles max. You're looking at
You're saying that's what in a 72-hour bag, basically, max is 60 miles is what you're gonna max.
right. That's it. That's on the average part. I mean, you're looking at 60 miles. Everybody's thinking they're going to make well, if you've got water and calories, but then uh, that 60 miles, you if you've got another day, you're okay. So you're looking at maybe 80 miles max. But after that, even if you get to where you're going, you're not going to be able to dig up your stash, cache, whatever. You're you're going to be wiped out. Trust me, I know what it feels like to not want to stop long enough to drink enough water. And you get to a point where you're like, "Oh no, I'm not even thirsty anymore." You are stupid. And then you get to go to the hospital. And but if you're in In Milwaukee, the hospitals don't come get you. You know, if there's not somebody there to treat you, you're uh, you're SOL. So I was trying to figure out how to say that.
Another thing to think about too is what happens if you just drink water. I know you know this from being desert environment. HDP was out there earlier. He probably knows too. If you just drink water, you're going to dilute the salt in your body, and your saline content's going to drop. Your body won't be able to absorb the water you drink. So it's a good idea to carry salt too and throw a pinch of it in your water bottle.
Yeah, a little bit of salt, and it used to freak people out after a long, hard day around. I mean, you're outside. You're me. You work all day outside. You sweat, and you never could get. I mean, you were constantly thirsty, thirsty, thirsty. I I would always stop at the end of the day. I would get me a soda. I would, shaved ice or crushed ice, fill that uh, 32-ounce cup as full of that ice as I could, and you'd wind up with like 10 ounces of soda or something in there. Drink that, and then when I get home, I put a tablespoon of salt on it. I stir it up, and I eat the salty ice, and then I'm finally not thirsty anymore.
Yeah, I had
Salt,
that issue. Oops, sorry.
yeah. I was just saying, salt is a really big deal.
Yeah, I had that issue when I was first stationed in Norfolk, and it would get really hot there in the summer. It'd be like 90, 100 degrees and really humid. I'd be sweating like crazy all day and just drinking water all day working on the flight line. And I'd drink a ridiculous amount of water and constantly be thirsty and constantly worn out. Until I figured out, I started getting those little baby 8-ounce Gatorades. I'd drink one of those halfway through the day. I'd feel amazing. I figured out it was the sodium content, so I started throwing a pinch of salt in my water after that.
Uh, Remember, I'm a little older than you, but uh, PE after gym, after practice, the coach would hand you the 2 pills and he better watch you swallow them. And they weren't speed, they were potassium and something else.
Oh
Uh,
wow!
they made you swallow 2 tablets of salt. And then they come out with Gatorade and all that went away. But there's such a thing as drinking too many Gatorades too. I see these guys that are wiped out because they won't drink water. They drink Gatorade all day long. And I'm like, okay, you don't lose that many electrolytes, guy. You need to slow down on the Gatorades. But,
Yeah, realistically, you only need about 8 ounces, and that's after being in the sun for a few hours.
um, oh, what was he putting up that you did all that for?
I bet your PE teacher had you swallowing them.
Oh.
And it just I was only trying to hide it and get all his comments.
Oh. Well.
That's okay too.
G-rated channel, man. We don't go there, okay? Anyway, creative. Just in case you didn't know, I mailed that. It should be there in a couple of days.
It depends on.
Depends if it makes it across the border, dude. That's geez, Willikers. Where's that big wad up? Yeah, big birdie. And I had to do this. Wait, I don't have the camera on. Hold on. Let me turn the camera on. I turn the camera on. I'll tell you something. Hello, camera. Okay. 1, 2. I'm missing 1, 3, 4. There should be 5 of these. And when the first time they said, no, you did those wrong. Do those over. I was like, what? So I had to start all over. But I didn't go anywhere. And they were closing. And anyway, I went back and I did them. And yada, 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 yada. Anyway, it's on the way. They wouldn't let, because Canada is turning into a communist country or something. they would not let me send you the one knife. So you only got one knife. I'm sorry. Um, I man, I was really thinking about trying it, but then I like read that I could like go to jail, and I don't love you that much. So there you go. Yeah, it's on the way. So anyway, what are we talking about? What anybody got anything they want to add to this? Yeah. Now everybody in Canada can go, oh, what do you want to do now, eh? Instead of just, hey, what do you want to do now? And that's a blue eh? Yeah, you cannot send a folding knife to Canada if it can be opened with one hand.
With one hand?
Yep.
Wow.
This
Yeah.
this knife is prohibited.
You gotta watch out for them folding knives.
Yep.
Well, if they're all going to be walking around stone, they don't need those.
Yeah, they don't need.
anyway.
They cut themselves. They're all gonna be stoned. They'll be like, I'll just cut my finger off. Check this out, dude. I cut my head.
They don't need to open their pocket knife.
Yeah, something like that. But you cannot have a thumb assist pocket knife or a finger assist pocket knife or a pocket knife that you can open. If you can open it, if you can partially open it and finish it with flick of the wrist, or if you can open it with your thumb, or if blah blah blah. Anyway, you can't have the knife.
Oh,
Yet
something assault
it's
knife.
okay to walk around with a belt knife on. If what is it, guys? Is it you can carry a sheath knife if you're on the way fishing, if you're on the way to hunting, or if you're returning from hunting, or on your way to process the fish or the game that you've taken while hunting or fishing. But it's legal to own them and have them in your possession as long as you're. I was just like, oh, okay, my head hurts because the post office said the only thing like it's Canada and you can't do this and this, and I'm just like, what? Okay. So I came back and I repackaged the deal, and they actually cornered me on the mouse traps, dude. I'm like, what? What's the rule? I said they're new. They've never been used. Okay. Okay. And they let us go. They have a no, they have a number.
What about specialist carving?
I don't know. All I had to worry about was oh man, they didn't give each item its number. But anyway, blah blah blah. Blah blah. The one that I'm missing has all that stuff on it. I don't have it. I don't know what it is. This one actually has a sticker on it. Somewhere. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. Hold on a minute. Is there anybody in here that ordered anything from me that didn't get it? Because it just occurred to me that did you ask for anything? Did you order anything for me, man? I got you your sticker, but I think I may have missed somebody's T-shirt. I don't know why it just popped into my head, but I'm really afraid I missed somebody's T-shirt. Oh no, it's possible. But anyway, on the food thing, it's weird. And if you don't have any, and here's the other thing, you got to be in shape to do this. But if you don't have any reserve body fat, then you're at a deficit already.
Oh, yeah, someone that's skinny like you is gonna have a lot harder time when somebody's got an extra 25 pounds on them.
And see that, I went on that diet and I threw away my 40 pounds of extra food that I could just walk around with. And I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to start eating pie and stuff again.
Yeah, that's why you watch those. You ever watch that show Alone?
Yeah, I've watched some of it. Yeah.
I'm I'm not a big reality TV fan. I hate most of those shows, but Alone's actually pretty decent. And a lot of those people, the ones that drop out early that actually do have really good survival skills, it's because they lose too much weight too fast and their body's eating itself.
Yep. Well, the guy that, and I'm glad he did, that kid that won it this last time.
Yeah.
Uh, dude, he was a chunky monkey when he started. He ain't now. I mean, he lost half a human being.
Yeah.
Uh, then I ain't even playing. I mean, uh, you know, the Wooded Beardsman, the guy I was in San Antonio with him and Bob Hansler or whatever. Uh,
Oh yeah.
I found the Wooded Beardsman's channel because I was jonesing for trout fishing. So I YouTube searched trout fishing. He popped up. Started watching his deal. And then, a month or so later, after I subscribed to his channel or whatever, he put this video up about alone being a lie or whatever, and started doing he did all the math on calories and this, that, and everything else, and yada, yada. The whole wilderness living challenge that they do started because of alone.
Mm.
Uh, he's like, a fat guy with skills is going to win. And he proved it with math, plain and simple. Because if you don't have any reserve calories or whatever, you're you're fooling yourself. The guy that won it the first time out, yeah, there was a bunch of people that weren't ready for what was going to happen, but the old boy had skills. He was willing to eat anything, and he lost, I don't know, 50 or 60 pounds in
Well,
70 days, 70 something days.
that first guy that won too, the what's his name, Andy McKay, is the same thing. He won. He was overweight, so he had fat reserves, but he
Yep.
wasn't really what I would consider out of shape. He was obviously carrying extra weight, but he was functional, you know.
He was a fully functional. I mean, he wasn't obese, but that's the deal. He had a reserve.
And he was willing to eat damn near anything.
Yeah, the dude, he's like barbecuing slugs, and he was eating. He had the little minnow traps going on and stuff. I was like, man, I bet those are good. Snails, because I watched he had an after deal. He has a YouTube channel, and it's super interesting. Um, I already watched all that stuff, and I don't, I hadn't been back over there in forever. But that's the other thing. Squeamish ain't gonna cut it. Tiawaki, the menu is, if you can get it past your tongue, it's food.
I'll eat anything when it comes to survival.
That's I'm kind of squeamish. You can hardly get me to eat anything, so I'm probably in a lot of trouble actually.
I mean, I actually had to learn a little bit on the Navajo reservation when they butcher an animal, they eat damn near everything.
Everything.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
make they take the intestines and they clean them out really good, and then they take the fat and wrap it around the intestines and they fry it like bacon. That stuff's actually really good.
yeah. The What do they call that? The cracklings or chitlins? Anyway, yeah, it's really good. And yeah, I'll eat anything, man. I burned off one time, and man, I was hungry, and I saw the little mud castles from the crawdads in the bardads.
Mm.
So I started digging them out, man. I'd pull them out, squish them around in the water, and uh, didn't even bother to cook them, man. I was just popping the tails and skinning them and eating them while they were still flicking. I was hungry.
Oh, well, yeah,
Uh,
any freshwater fish or creature like a crawdad crawling around, it's edible if uncooked.
what's that one guy, that criminal dude over in Arkansas or something? He eluded police for almost a year or something like that, and he was running around in the Appalachian, or not the whatever the mountains are over there, Ozarks, eating salamanders and stuff.
Yeah, I read something about that. I don't
That's
remember the details.
that guy's a bad boy. They won't let him play alone because, well, mostly I think they caught him. He's in prison on it. Dude, he already proved he can outlast just about anybody. Um, you know, what's the new record on alone now? You know, I don't even know.
I don't know. I watched the first I watched it up until the couples one.
There, it's a squirrel chasing a nut. It was a joke I was
I
making.
know one of them they did the it was like they gave it to the woman just because they wanted her to win, even though like it was her and the other guy who's got a YouTube channel now, and they were both pretty bad off, but she was like delirious and stuff, and then they said that he lost more weight than her, so she won, but she was like she was about to fall over and die.
Oh, see, I hadn't seen this last one, or the couples one, or whatever. I don't have cable stuff like that. I have to watch on here, or Netflix, and they don't put stuff like that on Netflix. So I just don't get.
Yeah, I haven't had cable in years. Or somebody on deployment had all of them up until the most recent one on a memory stick, so we watched it on the boat.
There you go. But anyhow, what are we
You ever
talking?
read the SAS Survival Guide? He talks about a time where they lost their gear to a washout. They went 10 days eating snails before resting.
Who said that?
Saturday.
Oh, no, dude, I hadn't read that, but I've read some pretty messed up stuff about guys surviving. It can be done. The biggest thing, and we're not trying to tell you, oh, y'all are going to die. There's no way you're going to make it. I'm just,
How Chipper's back.
hey, Chipper, we were talking about you. We were saying that you were smart and that you would probably be able to tell everybody that horses are not motorcycles and you don't have to, I mean, you can't ride them all day long and expect them to be okay. You have to stop and pet them and love them and feed them and water them and give them a break, just like you would have to have. So you're all caught up now. Welcome back. But we're not saying, oh, if you're outside of 60 miles from your BOL, lay down and die. That is not what we're saying. We're saying do a little research and you might want to rethink stuff. Did anybody out here in the side chat say you need to put caches along the route? Did anybody say that? I'm really hoping somebody did. You need to put caches along the route.
I definitely think a storage unit would be a good idea.
Yep. Uh, you know, it's I don't know what the cheapest storage unit you can get are, but some towns they have storage units that are like $20 a month, and they're uh, you know, 2 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot. The little big lockers or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the and if you know you can keep paying for the storage locker or whatever, put your freeze dried stuff in there. I wouldn't I don't know about canned goods and stuff like that because of the heat up and down or whatever. But what am I?
Oh. Um, how many chickens do you have to strap to each foot so you can country rollerblades?
A lot. Uh, I'm down a chicken, man. I need somebody to come out here and work security. I'm not even good at it. The hobos done come in and got another chicken today. And that's thing, and it happened literally right behind me, but I had to walk across the room, grab a firearm, walk back to the door, walk outside, and it was over. I never saw what did it. The dogs couldn't get on it. Yeah. And all you people that think, oh, I'll just homestead and everything will be fine. Man, everything wants to eat your stuff. Worms.
The chickens fly out of the fence.
Yeah, the
There you
chickens
go.
fly out of the fence.
Like, overgrazing, other people's animals coming over and eating everything up.
Yeah, you got that too. That's always a lovely thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to do that to the neighbor, but he doesn't use the land. So, but the goats won't go over there and eat. We like got the gate open, but stupid goat. And I'm like, you've eaten every weed on the property. Look over there. Look through the gate. Look at all the big, fat, juicy weeds. Go eat the weeds. She's like, nah. Whatever.
Well, when we start spending more time over there, I'm going to tell those people they need to keep their sheep in their area, or I'm going to start stringing them up and butchering them.
I will say I had to get up and leave my office at lunch when I was cutting weight. My coworker's lunch was smelling good.
Yeah, there's that.
And then CR says I'm more worried about the freeze thaw cycle with caches than I plan to do. Negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oui. And that's why the freeze dried stuff is important because there's no water in your freeze dried foods. Beans and rice are okay. With well, if you let me rephrase that. If you vacuum pack your rice and your beans, they will hold up to the freeze thaw thing better. And the beauty of it is if you've got them in buckets in a storage building. Yeah, I guess Canada would be hard because it gets really cold up there. Here, we've got freezing weather that lasts a week or whatever. So, typically something in a barn is going to be okay. If it's got, as far as that goes, I mean, here all we'd have to do is take the storage unit, put coastal Bermuda in around the walls and stuff, put our food preps inside the horseshoe made by the hay, stack hay on top of them, and then put a stack of hay in the front of it and pull the door down. Guess what? It's going to be that temperature from now on. You just put it in a giant igloo cooler. You didn't know that about hay, did you? In a pinch, hay is excellent stuff. If you're caught out, free bit of knowledge for you folks. You're going to have to pay the rancher for the hay. Maybe. If you're out in it and it's getting cold and you see round bales in the pasture, do not stay in that car. Write a note on the car, whatever, get your happy little butt over there to the round bales and dig a hole in one of them and get your butt in there. Because the middle of that hay bale is not going to be cold. And when you get in there, you're not going to freeze to death. The hay is mostly air. Inside all the stalks and the folds and stuff is a little bit of air that's trapped. You will stand a whole lot better chance not freezing to death inside that round bale than you will in that car. A car has no insulated value at all. Cars get cold fast and you will freeze to death in the car. There you go. That's my cold weather survival lesson for the day. Um, if there's more than one of you, you don't have to tear up the hay bales. They will roll. You can roll them together. Don't build a fire, because if you build a fire, you're going to set the hay on fire and then you're going to burn to death. So use some smarts. Depending on what kind of hay it is, you can actually cut one of the bales open, roll it out, and there will be a mat. It actually had the hay is rolled up in mats. You can lay those mats over something else. You can make a shelter out of rolled hay. You will owe somebody whatever they decide that roll of hay is worth. But you're alive. Never turn your back. No, never turn your back on feral dogs. Feral dogs are food.
Kids learn how dangerous dogs are once they get hungry and feral. They get meaner than wolves and try to get kids. I
Yeah,
saw
we had problems with feral dogs too when I was expeditionary overseas. They're not something to mess with. They're like Savage says, they're intelligent, and if they think that they can get the drop on you and grab you, they will.
Hawaii in the late 70s, they had a mass killing of dogs because there were so many children being killed and eaten by dogs in Hawaii. That's one of the states of the United, that's an American state. I read that when I was a kid. I was like, wow. I mean, it was all over the news that they were killing all these feral dogs, and everybody was for it. Everybody was like, yeah, get rid of the dogs, get rid of the dogs. There's not a whole lot of feral dogs. There are laws against letting your dog loose in Hawaii now because you got 5, 6 dogs walk up and there's a kid out playing and they're hungry. Guess what? Free monkey meat. Uh, and didn't the Philippines have a real bad problem with that?
Yeah, I think the Philippines did too. I think you're right about that. I heard something about that a while ago. I mean,
The
I work with them since all the Filipinos are in the Navy.
We call it Australia. In Australia right now, their biggest thing is cats. Um, who else is having trouble with that? But like I think uh, you don't hear about it from third world countries. That's the problem. You know, I mean, like, oh, you know, you just don't hear about all the really crappy things that happen down there. Oh man, them dogs got the baby. It doesn't make the news.
The reservations have the same problem with feral dogs too. We got to deal with them around the sheep.
I have when I was 15, I think 15, I barely escaped getting killed by feral dogs my own self. And you know, I was out doing one of my, I uh, gotten a friend to drop me off down on one of the forks of the Brazos River, and I was out there hiking around having a good time. I found me a stash of wild grapes. I was pigging out. Uh, I had uh, I'd made me a little camp, and then uh, I hear something running, and I thought I spooked up a deer, and I look up, and there's 3 big old dogs. They're not running away from me. They're running towards me. So I took off running. I knew where I was at. I knew from where I was at, I knew where I had to get the pavement to maybe get some help. And I had to ran up the side of the draw, and I could see them. They were getting close. And by this time, they had started the whole barking thing. I run up, and sure enough, they follow that trail. I jumped down off of that ledge, which left them. They had to jump, or they had to come back the way I went. which gave me a little bit more lead on them. Sure enough, I was lucky. They turned around and they ran back. They didn't want to jump. It was like a 15-foot drop, and I got all cut to pieces because it's a bunch of as a slough off. There was a bunch of gravel and rocks and stuff. And anyway, I jumped down, rolled out. I took off. I mean, my adrenaline's pumping. I'm running. I'm looking over my shoulder. And I can see them. They come up to the deal, boom, and then they turn around, and I see tails pointing towards me, which means they're going back the way we came up. So I was like, "Ooh, I've got about 400 yards." And they cheated. They didn't make it all the way back to the deal. They kind of jumped over the deal, but I made it to a cottonwood tree. And I didn't know. I didn't. Without the adrenaline, I never would have been able to climb that stupid thing. I'm getting to the top of the tree and making it swing over so I can jump back on to the part of the little cliff thing or whatever you call it that I jumped off of. And I made it. And about the time I get back up there, back on top, they've made it back down to the bottom of the tree. And they bark a couple times and they realize what's happened. They turn back around and head back for the deal. And I take off running. Long story short, I come out on the pavement and there's a pickup coming. I flag him down. He stops. I jump in and I say, "Go." And about that time, here come the dogs jumping up out of the grass. It was that close, man. uh, anyway, and he said, "What was that all about?" I said, "Those dogs wanted to eat me." And anyway, we went back and killed them, but we figured out what was coming down to the hen house too, because when I got back up to where I was at, I was literally only about 2.5 miles from the house. So, anyway, yeah, feral dogs are bad.
Just like I said, in the 90s in his town, they call them feral cats. Council had sold it.
Yeah, they got a big war going on about feral cats in Australia right now. People saying, "Oh, you don't need to," and then other people are like, "Oh, guess what? We do need to, and we are." It's open season on them over there, which is good. It's open season on them here. If there's a cat that comes up in my yard that doesn't have a collar, I don't wait to see if it is after a chicken. Uh, we when we first started the chicken thing out here, we uh, we were keeping a really close count. We were down 83 birds, 83 chickens to predation. We put out some live traps and caught a raccoon. I was like, "Oh, yay, there it is." Caught another raccoon. "Oh, yay, there it is." Shot another raccoon. I'm like, "Hey, there it is." It wasn't affecting the disappearing chicken count. Put the traps out in a little bit different place. Started catching feral cats. The more cats I caught, the less chickens were coming up missing. All the barn cats that had disappeared from, I guess, the dairy and other neighbors and stuff had taken to eating livestock. Between feral cats, bobcats, and coyotes and foxes, we've had we have 80 something birds right now, 85 I think, and we had 100 and something, but we butchered. Well, we lost 20 something to the bobcat, and then we butchered some, and then anyway, it's
Feral cats can take down some pretty big stuff. I don't think most people realize that they got claws and teeth for a reason. I took a feral cat in, turned it into a house cat, but it was killing rabbits out behind the house.
yep. You got a full grown rabbit and a feral cat. They're basically the same size. Guess what? The rabbit's gonna lose. The I've watched a tabby cat kill a nearly grown wild turkey. And it was a struggle, but guess what? It happened. So, you know, uh, what is it? A 5 pound cat taking on a 15-pound bird. 15-pound bird lost. So my little 2 pound chickens don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, cats are designed to kill.
Mm-hmm. That's I will never understand what God was thinking when He made the tiger. Okay, you could half size the tiger and it would still be the apex predator. I mean, it's like that's a big cat.
Well,
Mm.
even the cougars up here are bad enough, and a big cougar's 150 pounds, and a medium-sized one's around, 80 to 100. I mean, they do some damage. They take down deer and everything else.
Well, yeah, I've seen a it was a bigger body. He was a full grown bobcat. He'd been eating real well too, but he took down a yearling doe. No, well, wasn't the easiest thing he'd ever killed, I'm sure, but I mean, he didn't kill it and pick it up and walk off with it, but he killed it and drug it off. Okay, that's. I used to work in the oil field, and you have to sit there and wait for people to do their job, and you're just like you watch stuff. You get to see all kinds of cool crap, and one time I was up there looking, I was like, I could see this little ridge. Man, there's a cave up there. I just know there's a cave up there. I was like, we'll go about another 3 hours. I said, okay, I'm gonna take a walk. I'll be right back. And I walked up there. I'm like, yeah, that's a cave. And I was standing on a rock, big. I don't know. That's probably 5 foot across and maybe 3 or 4 foot wide. I'm like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna step in there and check it out. And when I stepped forward on the that rock I was standing on, he kind of tilted a little bit and tapped another one. I was like, oh! And so I started looking, and all the rocks back in that cave, they were snakes. I was going to walk into a rattlesnake then. I flew back down the hill. You ever seen a guy wearing a red polka dot welding hat and steel-toed boots fly? It can be done.
Used to have one of those hats.
I love that. That got me. You get that particular style hat they don't make anymore. Now they got these stupid I'm a cone head hat. I hate those things. These are more.
No, I just risked it when I welded. Wore a Carhartt jacket and a bandana. Carhartt jacket actually worked better than the welding jacket, a leather welding jacket. The beads like to sit on and burn your arm and stuff.
That I've still got I've got my sleeves and my jacket, and I don't weld anymore. Uh, my eyes,
Yeah,
my eyes got to where I couldn't really see uh, I can't see the puddle. Well, I'm still weld better than most people, but the kind of welding I was doing, I can't do that anymore. And the other stuff doesn't pay enough for me for the pain, and welding kills you.
yeah, it does. It's a good skill to have, but I don't. I loved welding, but I don't want to do it full time again.
It's you're gonna die. Um, you know, I think
Yeah,
I don't know if there's we don't I don't weld. I don't want to go back to doing it full time. No, but it's really fun, and I'll do. I can weld around here and stuff. But what are we talking about out here in the side chat, honey? Anything good? Anything we need to just address in here?
well, Miss S said something a while ago, and we were back on the storage locker thing. You were saying it'd be good to have dry food in there. I totally agree with that. That's something I was looking into. And the freeze drying machines are super expensive.
Yeah,
But
crazy.
we were thinking about buying one because we want to start a like a trading post or kind of business where we can have handmade jewelry and leather work in there and also frontier style stuff. And I was thinking about maybe buying a freeze dried machine for the business and doing freeze dried food.
We looked at it. What was the cheap one? Was 2,000 or something? $2,000.
1,500 or 2,000.
1,500.
Cheap one.
$2,000 for cheap ones. Um, I'm just like, wow. And I don't know why freeze dried is so much better than regular dehydrated. But it is.
To people who don't have experience with both, the freeze dried looks better
Oh, that might be it.
because to me the dehydrated tastes better. I like it better, but the freeze dried looks more appetizing.
You know, it does. It looks just like the freeze dried corn and peas and stuff. They still look like corn and peas. But you dehydrate a tomato or something like that, and you're like, what is that? But even if you dehydrate the stuff, and I'm pretty sure Savage does Savage don't dehydrating them keeps the stuff too.
I never had dehydrated stuff go bad. I don't know how long you have to actually keep it for it to go bad.
Freeze dried foods keep the nutrients because no heat is applied.
Well, that makes sense what Savage is saying.
Yeah.
The freeze dried food keeps the nutrients because no heat was applied.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to have an excessive amount of heat for dehydration, though, either.
But it's still heat.
I guess it's still heat. But yeah, but is the shelf life any longer on dehydrated as opposed to freeze dried? I mean, is the shelf life different? I could see spending $2,000 for something that was going to give me an extra 10 years of shelf life. But if it's not going to do that, then it ain't worth the money.
Well, that freeze dried vacuum sealed stuff they sell at the big food companies for the prepper outlets and stuff, they're all good for like 25 years.
Yeah, the freeze dried stuff is. I just don't know if the regular dehydrated stuff is.
I don't know how long dehydrated can last. We
Hey,
had
Trey,
it.
Trey.
We used to dehydrate all kinds of stuff, fruit, meat, and everything growing up, and I don't ever recall anything going bad.
And that's, I've eaten banana chips that have been out of date for 4 years, and I'm still here. Uh, as far as that goes, raw peanuts, I've been eating raw peanuts. I found a bag of raw peanuts, and I was like, ooh, uh, how long ago was 2011? I'm, I'm not dead. I didn't even get sick. My tummy didn't even tear up or nothing. They were still sealed. I opened them, I ate them, and they tasted fine. So I think those expiration dates are a load of crap. Um, but that's just me. I am not a dietitian. Reissue that disclaimer. I'm not a dietitian. Do not take anything I say as medical advice or that it's okay to do this. Anything you do based upon anything you heard on this live stream, you do at your own risk and accept full liability for your own actions. Thank you. Have a good day. Because there's going to be some guy out there that watches this later and goes like, "Huh? Ain't they not going to eat them 20-year-old peanuts? Not the ones out of the ground, dipstick."
There's always that guy. That's why we have safety stand downs every Friday.
Yeah,
You
there's.
hear the dumbest things at safety meetings at work.
So freeze dried lasts 20 years longer. So if you dehydrate something that lasts 20 years, then freeze dried lasts 40 years. That's what I mean. I want to know how long the dehydrated stuff lasts.
Freeze-drying is the most nutritionally packed due to no heat and lasts the longest because of that absolutely no water. Still needs to be stored correctly and sealed in my water.
Okay. So, Savage, you need my address to send me my new freeze dryer? I'm just asking. Dude, if it's a truck or a freeze dryer, I'm just dehydrating. Telling you right now. Because I got priorities. Anyways. I was going to say something because somebody said something. Oh, yeah, Trey, that was a cool thing with the deal. Hey, you're going to have to like get on your subscribers' tails, man, because I keep beating everybody to your videos. Oh, I'm going to plug myself on Patreon. There's a lot of videos over there. You don't have to be a Patreon to see. Y'all should go check them out. Some of them.
You wouldn't have gotten treated by them dogs if you had one of them survival sticks that Savage has.
Yeah. Trust me, I would have liked to have had it. I'd have stayed in that tree, and when they got at the bottom of it, I'd been poking them in the eyeballs.
Rice found in South Korea in 150-year-old clay pot and were still edible.
Yes, Trey, I'm stalking you. Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the cool thing about rice and corn and beans. Nature dehydrated it for you. It put it in a state of suspended animation. As long as it does not receive moisture, it will just stay there waiting to become. They found grain that they planted the grain and the grain sprouted in some pyramid somewhere. Bye, LS. Have a good night.
Could always make alcohol to preserve it too.
Hey, I think. See you later. Yeah, it's something I've noticed on everything at Walmart is stuff that used to have a really long shelf life is now down to like 18 months. Everything's got the same shelf life now. When did that happen? Who? All right. Good night, Wildman.
I noticed shelf lives are a lot shorter. Everything seems like 2 years or less now.
And I think that's just a marketing ploy.
I do too. It's probably the somebody's what do they call them? The somebody's lobbyist got in there and got the FDA to change it.
But like I say, I mean, I don't trust the canned goods because everything else has gone to crap as far as the quality of stuff. Like I'm actually looking at a can of Campbell's chunky beef with country vegetables. It's canned soup. And this hadn't been stored outside or anything. And there's little specks of rust around the top of the can. And I'm like, why would there be rust on this? There shouldn't. I mean, this has been like kept inside and stuff. The expiration date on this thing, I've got to open this and eat it now. See if I die. August 13th, 2018. So I'm going to eat this, not right now because I don't want to die on camera, but I'll do a out of date, and I'll tell y'all if this is any better after it's set a while. The reason this is here, I bought these and I was eating them, and you know what? It's not really that good.
You ever watch that channel? I think it's 1983, the MRE channel. That guy, he just gets like old canned foods and like old MREs from like World War II, before that, and all different time periods. And the dude will eat anything. Some of that stuff is pretty amazing and it's still edible.
He's not in. I wish Rob was in there. Dude, Rob will eat anything, man. He ain't scared. He said, I just cut them all off. The rest of it will be fine. No. Uh, the maggots aren't eating all of it. Come on.
I would
Amos
be
will
that
eat
way.
it, won't he, Trey? He's good.
If I wasn't allergic to penicillin, I'd just cut the mold off.
Now I confess on cheese or whatever, you cut the fuzzy part off, throw it away, you eat the rest of the cheese. I grew up with that though. I mean, that's the way cheese works. Okay.
Grouchy.
Hey, Grouchy, we're talking about eating rotten food. Hey, in case anybody wants to know, on my phone is a video about the Grouchy dude and the fact that he's having a Texas meetup. And I forgot to upload that until he popped in here. Told him I'd do a video. I did a video. I told him I'd upload it. I lied to him. I will do
Oh,
that.
You did the video. You
I,
should
I hadn't uploaded it yet.
that reminds me. Is there anybody in here from Florida, the Panhandle?
Hey, yeah, I even got you Floridians in here. How's that going down there?
Smolos, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying
Small.
to.
He's
I'm
working on
trying.
a trailer.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry, she said, she was like, oh, Small's in here. I was like, he's working. He's like doing, he's got responsibilities.
You just reminded me something when he says a meeting. I did a demonstration for get home bags in the last one, and this one I was going to do a breakdown for a 72-hour kit to build off of for bugging in. Do 72 hours in 3 weeks and 3 months kind of deal. And I was going to break down Hurricane Katrina and then also break down the societal breakdown with crime and everything else for the new hurricanes.
No, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I've got notes on several different videos that I need to be doing and stuff. But instead of shooting the videos, I've been like writing down scripts and stuff for them. I wish Steve Foco was in here. He's like, you should make notes because then you'd be able to stay on track and stuff. And he put a bug in my brain, and now I just keep writing down all these notes and everything.
I wanted to do videos of the presentations, but there's a couple people in there that didn't want any filming done, so I just decided to respect them.
And see, that's from now on my meet and greets. There won't be cameras. There's too many people that don't want their face out there. So I was actually one of the guys that was going to come to our meet at here in Scurry County didn't because he figured there would be cameras,
Okay.
and I actually had to edit him out of. He was in like most of my video from up there. He kept being in the background and stuff. So that's why my video was so short.
If I can get the coordinator to agree to it, I'd like to do a video with him doing solar. He's an electrical engineer. He has solar systems and stuff. He's got some really good information.
The solar stuff's really important. I wish I knew more about it, and but I don't want to. I do not want to let myself start going down that path because I've got too many things that I'm trying to learn right now that I don't have a handle on. I mean, I know a guy who's still waiting for me to beat him out a knife. Yeah. I hadn't even figured out how to forge a knife yet. So I don't need to try to figure out how to power my house with plastic doodads.
Yeah, that forging thing's harder than it looks, man.
It really is. And it's weird. I mean, I'll be happy if I can ever get to 2 out of 3. If I can build 3 things and 2 of them work out, I'll be happy. Right now, I'm like 1 out of 4. I'll count myself as a professional if I can get 2 out of 3. Because I was actually watching some of the guys that don't hide their mistakes or whatever on here, and this one old guy, he says he's showing something. He's like, they put this knife blade in some water, and he was like, "Oh man, I can't believe I did that." And the guy filming was like, "What?" He said, "You didn't hear that? That was the ping of death. I just killed this knife. I know exactly what it sounds like."
And some of these old time crafts, they're hard to learn if you're doing it on the side, because a lot of these guys were apprentices back in the day, and they put in at least 10,000 hours before they got good.
Yeah, and
So
that's I got to answer this guy. Grouchy, I can grind the knife out, heat treat it, make it work, but that's not the same thing as what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take a piece of steel that doesn't look anything like a knife, smack the crap out of it with a hammer, and then turn it into a knife. Because, well, that's what I want to be able to do. But anyway, what were we saying?
I was saying, a lot of these guys, they do it basically takes 10,000 hours to get good at anything, and they apprentice with either someone who was family or another blacksmith who decided to take them on. Same goes with leatherwork, saddlery, anything like that. And they spend, years, 2 to 5 years learning the craft, and they
Yeah,
figure out what works and what doesn't. And then when they take an apprentice, they teach them what works. So there's a lot of tribal knowledge there that's kind of been lost for somebody just picking it up as a hobby and learning.
yeah, and that's the thing is I don't have. I'm beyond being able to apprentice somewhere because I got to like make money and stuff. So, and that's later creative. Uh, Drop me an email when you get that. Okay. Uh, if you don't get it, we'll see if we'll call customs and see what's going on. Yes, ma'am. If you don't mind.
Didn't mean to keep.
No, that's fine. Um, Tribal, whatever. You, everybody out here can say whatever you want to, but we're trying, or well, some of us are. Or this is the way I think about it. With these meet and greets and building mags and stuff and networking and stuff, we're literally trying to get back to a tribal. Tribal worked. It worked. Okay.
It worked for all of human existence up until, the last couple thousand years.
Yeah. And what have we been doing since they took tribal away? Oh, killing each other. When we switch from tribes to nations to empires, war. We invented war instead of what Indians used to kill each other over stuff, but usually when they'd get into a fight about this or that or something else, they would knock each other around. They just wanted to put the other guy out of the fight. They didn't try to kill him.
Yeah, they weren't trying to
They
wipe
had,
out tribes.
we taught them what a tomahawk was. Okay. They used to use sticks.
I'm pretty sure they learned that from the Vikings.
Probably. But and I'm not saying they were super civilized or anything like that. It was stupid to kill off people. If you kill the guys you're stealing from, they can't make more stuff.
Yeah.
Even on The Walking Dead, even Negan knew that people are a valuable resource.
I just watched that too.
You don't kill people unless you have to. So.
I never got what mags were all about.
Who said that? WR more. MAGs are mutual assistance groups. That means instead of say me and the missus trying to lone wolf it on our little farmette here and trying to hold off, hoping that the roving horde of little blue elves from the big city don't find us. And we just managed to write out what is that book? The Dying Tom. And then we don't have to worry about marauders. Was it Mary the Marauder in that one video I did? We don't have to worry about those kind of people because we're out here in the boonies. Guess what? chances of that happening are slim. There's too many people on the planet.
It,
The mag is you have somebody watching your back.
yeah, if they find us where we're at, I'm gonna turn them into lead farmers, and no questions asked if they make it that far.
It's I'm actually we're I say we I am looking at alternative places of residence, if you will, because I want to be further off the beaten path than we are currently. Uh, but there are limitations. We have to live in the world. Okay. We don't have to be of the world, but we have to live in the world. So we have to pay our mortgage, we have to pay our taxes, we have to make our car payment, we have to make our mortgage payment. Okay. So there has to be some form of income that limits, I do not want to drive 2 hours one way to go to work. That doesn't leave a lot of time for anything else. If you're driving 2 hours, working 8 hours, driving back 2 hours, you think, what is that? That leaves you like nothing. That, you got enough time to shower, eat, and get some sleep. That's it. Um, I
We
guess,
also have to be able to do the things that we enjoy. And if there's a certain thing you want to work at that you enjoy, I mean, you can't just live like a hermit and act like the sky is falling all the time either. You got to be able to go out and enjoy yourself.
yeah. And then that's the other end of it. I mean, if we don't work, if we don't have any way to pay for the bills, then I can't drive to Oklahoma to watch Vikings whack each other with swords. I can't believe that crap. But
Oh, I got some pictures for you.
we're looking for festivals. We're going to start making festivals. I mean, we're not going to dress up and go like be the, what do we call it? Sheep Herders Anonymous
They have
festival.
all kinds of Renaissance things in Texas, but they're all down by
They're all down
Waco
in the
by
blue.
Austin.
Austin. We'll have to start
Well,
something.
oh, sorry.
Sorry, talking to my wife. Because
It's okay. I was going to say the last Viking festival, I volunteered to fight one of those guys with no armor.
oh, smart move.
They had people from all the different European martial arts groups, and they all had metal swords and armor. And they were like, they did their demonstration. Another guy comes out, he's like, "Who wants to try?" And no one raised their hand. I was like, "Screw it." That was the most fun I had in a long time.
Yeah, you're definitely redneck.
I'm out there. They're all this guy. He's in full armor with a shield and a metal sword, and I'm out there in my flannel boots and a sword. That's actually the picture on my Patreon. One of them is from that.
Dude, do you have a Patreon link up on your channel? I didn't know you had one.
I don't have a Patreon, but I post on BA stuff sometimes.
Oh, okay. I like to follow people around. I'm a stalker. You can ask Trey. I'm a stalker.
Yeah, we've been doing the festival thing too because Weather Operator does semi-precious gemstones and jewelry, and we're getting into the silversmithing thing. I've been doing a lot of leather work. I don't really do nice shoes. I've been working on holsters and stuff, holsters, wallets, um, purses, wristband. I've been doing just about everything I can with leather, trying to learn. So, and I'm kind of in a situation where the VA might not let me work anymore in the capacity that I have normally been working. So I'm looking at maybe starting a business and going to all the festivals and selling stuff.
And
And
see,
maybe
that festival thing put a bug in my head. I mean, the stuff I've been making for years and just giving away, people are paying for this crap. I didn't know people wanted to buy that kind of stuff. I thought it was just like novelty stuff. I was just like, here, you want this? I thought it was cool. I've given away I don't know how many paintings. I've given away I don't know how many war clubs. I've given away I don't know how many knives. You know, when I do make a knife that works, I give it away. Makes all sense.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm a
And
lousy hoarder, I guess.
I do the same thing. That's why I don't have a lot of cool stuff up in my background. Is just about everything I make, I give away. I originally started doing leather work because I couldn't find a belt I like. I've done about 30 belts and I've given them all away. I still haven't made one for myself.
Wow. See, I've got little leather chunks all over the place that I've been playing around. I'm actually working on a leather sheath for a knife right now in the back. Hey, Gray Man, Oxshaw, Kaylin, how y'all doing? Um, I don't ever plug my Patreon. I just tell people it's there. I don't know. I mean, I guess I did. I guess I just plugging it, but I didn't start YouTube to make money. You know, if I do, I do. Mostly, I just want. I hate the idea of stepping over dead bodies that are all swollen up and full of maggots.
Yeah.
So, I would rather. I want to get to know all the people that are going to be like not starving to death with me.
Yeah.
And
And it's good to have a community to talk about. A lot of the stuff you can't really talk to people about it because they automatically think you're some paranoid crazy.
that's the whole thing with the networking and stuff. That way we can figure it out. You know, I've already figured just a little bit of networking I've tried to do or whatever the deals or whatever. There are some pretty serious, these strange individuals out there lurking around the edges of the preparedness community.
Yeah, we're gonna attract those kind of people. There's no way around that.
Um,
Just by nature of what we do.
I am. There's been several of the people that I've met at these deals or whatever that I'm like, okay, I'm cool with these guys. And then there's other ones that I'm like, okay, they're cool people. They're really solid citizens, yada, 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 but I'm not interested. That person's just waiting for the apocalypse so they can kill people and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, um, you know, I'm good, dude. It's, or they want to set it off. They're like, hey, come on, man, where's the fuse? I'll light it with you. Well, that's not real. That's West Windsor Bible. My,
Hey, Gray Man.
what do you call it? The the Mr. Navy. Oh,
You know what's funny about The Walking Dead? If you watch at least the first few seasons, how bad Shane was, and then it turns out he was right. Everyone else now is worse than Shane.
yeah. Uh, you know, he was right about some stuff, but if he hadn't got all crazy about him having to give back the woman he stole,
Oh, the whole affair thing was dumb.
but you know, Shane was tweaked, but yeah, you can't. What Shane was right about is you can't save everybody. Okay, but and he's talking to all the people that were too stupid to do what it takes to survive. You know, if
Yeah.
you open your door to every refugee that shows up, you're going to wind up with people like the rules guys that Daryl hooked up with for a little bit. You know, that they had the simple rule: no lying, no stealing, blah blah blah, and you had
Oh,
to call it or whatever.
yeah.
You're going to wind up with guys like that in there. Uh, you're going to wind up with guys like the wife beater, you know, Carol's whatever. You're going to wind up like people with the little girl or whatever, where Carol had to say, "Look at the flowers." I mean, the girl just stabbed her little sister so she would turn into a zombie. Um, you you need to find out who you're teaming up with in world with rule of law, because you do not want to do it. You do not want to find your team in world without rule of law. Tiawaki is too late to build a tribe, because then you're stuck with who you're stuck with. Um, who are some of the other bad apples that they got on their team? Uh,
Just about, God, just about everyone for a long time.
you had
Daryl's brother.
Daryl's brother. You had Gummit, Andrea. When first right out of the box, man, she was useless. Big, I mean, whining and crying about everything and being just, I mean, she was more trouble.
Yeah, there's gonna be people like that are completely useless. So
Oh yeah, Merle.
I didn't say it.
yeah,
Lou Olstead said Merle, Daryl's brother. And it's the one guy that tried to he'd made it through all the stuff. He's in year 2 or 3 or whatever, and he's one of Negan's top guys or whatever. And the one rule is you don't rape anybody, and he gets caught trying to rape the girl. And you're going to wind up with guys like that on there because you didn't get to know the people beforehand.
yeah.
I've met, there's just people I don't have anything to do with anymore. Because, yeah. Anyhow.
There's people that we're all gonna trust more than others. I'm inclined to trust veterans more than other people, even though we all got issues. They've already been vetted for the most part. We're lucky to work with a lot of the people we do compared to the civilian world. I worked in the civilian world before I came in, so in
Yeah.
construction, and there's so many flaky people in construction, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. You ought to be the guy that's trying to hire people to do stuff. You're just like, oh, no.
I was for a while.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It just, dude, you just want to throw your hands up and ask for a lightning bolt to just end your existence because you just can't take it anymore. Is there anybody out there that has a brain? Just, like 2 cells that can communicate to each other.
Or you'll get the one guy who's amazing for months. He's a key player. Just everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
And then he just disappears because he started drinking again and doesn't show up at all.
Oh, man. Yeah. And you're just like, you've got everything riding on him keeping that crew going, and then one day he's not there.
Yeah.
And then the phone rings, and you go down and you bail him out, and he stays with you for another 4 weeks, and then he's like, I got a better job offer from yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what? You haven't paid me back the bail money yet, dude. But anyway, not that ever happened to me. I'm just saying.
We're both at the point to where we live, we live out there we were going out there for a reason. We just want to be left alone. And we picked a place where it's just about impossible to walk to. So if someone's coming up and they look shady, they probably are. And it's going to be a no questions asked thing.
Well, let me ask that then. Y'all picked a spot where it's going to be Ewan's. Okay. Do y'all have anybody that knows where Ewan's is going to be and that are welcome to go to where Ewan's is going to be at?
There's some family up there. There's some family up there, and nobody knows where it's at. Even the part of the reason we like that spot is even the locals don't know where it is. You ask people in anywhere around the northern part of that state where that is,
It's to
nobody
go on
knows.
her car or your car.
And that's why we like it. I mean, we just once we're there full time, and when we do go out there, when we go out to work the property, we just want to be left alone.
Yeah, and that's, you know, we don't really like them when people pull up the driveway. I mean, honestly, but you know, we want to have. There's 70 something acres around us that we would like to purchase. If we bought this 70 something acres, we would actually be looking for 2 other couples to put residents on the property, because yeah, but those 2 other couples would have to be somebody super special, and they couldn't be the kind that always want to come over and drink coffee in your house all day long and yak 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 yak, but rather the ones that they come out of their house, you walk out of your house, you're headed to what needs to be done that day, and y'all meet in the middle and you get it done. And then, you know, you get together once or twice a week or whatever, la da da. You're friends, but you're not all up in each other's business.
Yeah. It's kind
And
of like I think Pastor Joe put out a video like that recently too. He talked about that, and we've talked about that too. We have that extra, the small house. It's like 600 or 700 square feet. It's basically like a one room house with a kitchen and a small living room. And once we build our place, our new place, that'll be we'll have extra room in our place, and that'll be a standalone thing that we're going to leave. So we could bring in a couple extra families if we chose to, or if people we knew needed to.
yeah, and so that's, you know, there's always going to be people that you can trust with your life. And this is, man, I hope none of the people that I'm related to are like watching this. They're nobody except for my children. None of my family, extended or otherwise, are in my mag. That's messed up, huh?
Not really. I feel you on that. I had to cut a lot of toxic people out of my life. The only person I trust is my dad. Um, most of my family, the ones that didn't die off, I just completely cut them out of my life.
And see, that's me. I trust my dad impeccably. Oh wait, he died. Um, so, you know, what does that leave me? And there was a time when I was worried about my son, but he got his head out of his butt. I trust him impeccably now. Uh, Yeti in there. Yes, I'm gonna let him stay. He's all right. But he's Army, but we'll get over that, I suppose.
Hi.
Oh, I forgot about that. I mean, Army's cool. Go Army. I forgot Service Army too. So everybody got a bunch of green hats on around here. Haha, no camera.
Why not?
Because I don't have it on because I'm doing the evil thing.
What evil thing?
Smoking. I don't smoke.
Oh.
Here, I'll turn it on so you can say hi. There will be a video up of her in her Halloween makeup.
No, that's really mean. You could have at least warned me.
Then I went and got a picture of your face.
Hi.
Look, she's practicing to be a cow. No. I'm gonna put. See, I told her to hook these on there. I took them off for you. Here, put one on each side. Yeah. You have a squirrel chasing that.
No. Look, I got some lip gloss and an owl thingy from the dollar store. Get it, guys? It's so cute. I like owls.
She has an owl backpack that I picked out and bought. Okay, here's your mom, but I don't know about it.
Okay, there's a fly on your screen, Margaret. I'll bring you a fly swatter.
So I'm good. That was Sweet Pea. She's high. You see me turning the camera back off. You know, I hit that on my screen.
I wasn't going to hit the screen.
There could be like a million things explode up there. You have no idea. Give me that. Go away.
Oh, I have. He's talking about my backpack.
Yes,
I have a unicorn backpack too.
We have a unicorn backpack too. Where is your owl backpack? Oh,
It's in my
that's
closet.
actually oh, okay.
And they told me to close it so it doesn't get lost and messed up until I use it today.
So what are some you have any alternate methods besides walking? I mean, if that's the case, I'm guessing you're thinking of an EMP. You have any
Well,
older?
yeah, I mean, like if you have an EMP or think about it, you don't immediately bug out. Okay,
Because I mean, we got
everybody runs out of fuel on the highway
yeah.
because there's a wreck, there's this, there's that, blah blah blah. They're constantly, all day, every day, clearing highways from accidents and this, that, and everything else, and putting traffic around and yada yada yada. Okay. If nobody's there to do that, if something has happened, if society has collapsed or whatever, how long do you think the roads are going to stay open? If you do not, if you are not at your BOL, this is my big push. We live on our BOL. If you are not at your BOL when the proverbial moose dollop hits the air redistribution device, it's too late. Unless you see it and you move then. And then you can't be in a hurry to get there because guess what? You could be the one that jams up the road because you're dragging a trailer that you didn't already have loaded. You know, if it's your bug out trailer with your bug out supplies in it, why is your stuff not in the trailer? Why is the trailer not backed in your garage ready to go? Why is it all you have to do is back up, hook onto the trailer, and drive off? Guess what? You don't have to take 45 minutes to load the trailer. You're gone.
Well, even if you don't have it loaded, I mean, if you're intelligent about it, you keep your camping stuff boxed up in Rubbermaid containers with your bug out stuff sitting on top of them. It only takes 5-10 minutes to grab that stuff, throw it in the back of the truck.
Yeah, but most people, when they have a BO, they actually store their food and they have their food and crap at home.
Yeah.
They don't have it at their bug out location because literally most people's idea of a bug out location is some spot that they went to as a kid in the woods. Did you never see sign of anybody else there? I can't think of one place I've ever gone camping that there wasn't a beer tab, a Coke bottle, a beer bottle. I used to have a collection of knives I found while I was camping.
I can't go anywhere without finding something. I've found glaciers or climb the top of glaciers and found stuff.
Yeah, I was walking out literally in the middle of nowhere, walked down into this little, it was a really pretty little valley. And then I started looking around and there's trash all over the place. Yes, it was trash from Indians, but it was still there. Somebody had already been there. You know, somebody else knows about where you're wanting to go. If you're going to have a bug out location, have a bug out location that is yours. Do not have a bug out location where you're going to go there and nobody else is welcome. Because that piece of property that you buy used to belong to some other family. Okay. The other people that lived that actually bought the property and are living there want to know their neighbors. So if you're not taking the time to make friends with the people that live there, and you show up being a wanker, guess what? They're not going to let you stay. While you may have 14 ARs and body armor and everything else, there's a guy over there that can make a 200-yard headshot with his 270. And he's going to shut you up. He's not going to risk him shooting you, or he's not going to risk getting shot because you think you're too close, or he thinks you're too close to his property line. It's just not going to happen.
Well, no, it's not like the movies where you're gonna see each other and square off. If you think you got to take someone out, you're gonna do it in a way that best puts you in an advantage.
And I'm not a veteran. I've hung out with them and stuff my whole life, but I'm not, okay? But I know enough veterans to know that they all think pretty much the same. You don't keep the dicks around. They're not worth the trouble. Um, you you just don't. Um, and if somebody, if maybe if he's like in your squad or whatever, if he's in your mag or whatever, and he's only a craphead to everybody else, but a lone wolf guy who's a jerkwad is never going to make it. I mean, it's that simple. And I hold no hope for me and mine if the only ones on this property, if there was an EMP or whatever, uh, if everything fell apart over a matter of a couple of weeks, and the only people on this property trying to keep it safe were me, my wife, my daughter, and my son. The first group of 12 that showed up with uh, shotguns and riot gear would own everything we had. It just doesn't work like it works in the movies.
The best thing you can hope for is a fighting retreat and then come back once they get settled.
And then you got to bring back more people with it. And then you're going to have to set up on some little knoll somewhere and go, well, they think they're awfully safe, and hope that more than one of them come outside and you get to them down before the ones inside hear the report of the rifle.
That's another thing too, is to have another bug out location from your permanent location in case you get overran. Instead of fighting them to the death, it could be a better option just to put on a fighting retreat, leave, and then immediately after they get settled and they drop their guard, come back or pick them off one by one if you have to.
Yeah.
Kenny Wells says I'm new on here.
Hey, Kenny Wells. Howdy. Welcome aboard.
There was a guy in the Civil War. I was reading this story. I can't remember the name of the book. I don't know if it's The Rifleman or I don't remember the guy's name, but he was this farmer. And all through the Civil War, he helped the North, gave them livestock. He tended to the wounded of both sides. And then one day, a Northern general came through and killed both of his sons. So he took everything he had and he had a custom rifle built. And he spent the whole time during the war and after the war on his own, lone wolfing it, sneaking around, picking off Northern officers. And his kill count was up well over 100. I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was just a ridiculously crazy story. And there's a book on it. And I can't think of the name. I got to look it up. But yeah, I mean, it might be better just to fall back, let them take it. And if you have a few people you can call up, assault it, and get your stuff back when they get comfortable, or just pick them off one. Well, one of the things that's really worrisome is you can pick people. They go out to chop some firewood, they go out to get some water, they go out to pick a ear of corn, just pick them off one by one.
Yeah, I mean, that's these, you can't tote firewood and stand ready with your AR at the same time. And, yeah, you've got a guy who's standing ready with his AR and the other guy, watching the guy's back as he's toting the firewood. Guess what? They're just going to pop the guy with the AR first. It's how many preppers are out there, that we don't know about? The real serious ones that are like super, I've got this and I've got that and nobody's going to know about it. We don't know what they got. We don't know anything about them. They're watching our stuff and they're going, oh, I need to figure out where this guy's at. I mean, I don't fear the masses. I do not fear the starving masses. I fear the guy sitting in his bunker with a laptop watching this video right now that's sitting there going, taking notes because he's set up and he wants to know general locations where after everybody dies off, he can go find more resources.
Yeah. What? I don't know. In my recent experiences of going to meetings and doing demonstrations and stuff, I think we're the rarity. I I don't want to say it as like a look at me because I'm not half as prepared as I want to be, or even a lot of the guys on here. But one of the things that was eye-opening was I thought I was one of the more least prepared people out there. A lot of the guys aren't even on the same level,
Yeah,
and
there's
I don't even think I'm ready for anything crazy, you know?
um there's so many guys out there that are like, well, I've got this, 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 and this. I said, well, what are you gonna eat, dude? They're like, what do you mean? I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I said, no, you're not. Uh, it's. I mean, we started this whole thing talking about calories and walking.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What was that? Man, who did the video on it? And they were talking about it. The lumberjacks when they first started cutting in. No. We were reading the article about the tree soldiers or the tree army. These guys were from 20 or from like 18 to 27 or something like that. And they went out and chopped down trees and planted trees and blah, blah. They did all that. I mean, they did hard physical labor every day. Young, healthy, energetic males, they were having to pump between 8 and 10,000 calories a day into these guys to keep them going. And that was in the 30s or something.
Yeah, yeah. Another good one to read is if you ever get a hold of copies of the journals of Lewis and Clark, how much those times, how much time those guys spent procuring goods and food. A good majority of their time was just procuring goods and food for the journey, all everywhere they stopped.
What's the name of the guy with the got the buried his face?
Oh, Doug Glass.
Yeah, Glass. His job was he was the guy that was supposed to feed them. Things went
That
bad.
guy, that guy's whole story is amazing. Not, I mean, just not just getting eaten by the bear and coming back and finding those dudes. I found a book that covered his story all the way from childhood and the stuff that happened to him even before that was crazy.
Yeah, he I don't even know why he just didn't just like crawl back inside and say, "Mom, I ain't ready for this." I didn't read the book, but I read a what do you call it? Like a article about it, about his little article, and I was like, dude, it sucked to be you.
Yeah, it's Hugh Glass. Uncle Al had it right.
You glass, yeah. Uh,
But he was a sailor. I don't know if he was in the Navy or on some sort of cargo ship, but they were attacked by pirates in the Gulf, and the pirates took over his ship, and it was him and one other guy that lived, and they basically pressed him into slavery. So they had to work the pirate ship for a couple of years. They jumped overboard off that, swam to shore in Texas. Then they were chased down by Comanche and another tribe and fought them all the way up to the plains. They were captured by another tribe. They killed his friend and let him go because he had some kind of red dye on him that they liked. He basically traded it for his life, and they taught him survival skills. He married into the tribe, and then that's when he went out west to be a mountain man. That guy had already cheated death a bunch of times before he even made it out there.
yeah, yeah. It's that's everybody's like talks about this that we've all I don't know about all, but I know a lot of people they've already gone through the SHTF, and me, I'm on borrowed time. I know it. I mean, I've dodged it. I don't know how many times.
I was gonna tell you, I'm gonna make his face more scary than my face
Hey,
was
Wes.
earlier.
Actually, I thought you were cute. I thought you were a really cute skeleton.
Oh. I'm gonna make him into a zombie right now because the movies were too packed. We didn't go to the movie, and the bowling alley was closed. That stupid game that they lost.
Basically, you're gonna go throw dirt and goo on his clothes
And his face.
Okay, because you don't need that much makeup.
Hidden Harvest Girl Wax is in here.
Hi,
And
Brad and What Without Rule of Law and Michael Signs
and Jeff.
and Bullfrog, Jeff.
Yeah, SHTF. Oh,
My wife is making me say hi to everybody.
oh, sorry.
And Lou and Jeff Nody, and I think that's all of y'all. If I missed you, it's not my fault. It's Westman's fault.
But SHTF, that can happen anytime. I mean, during the what was it, 2002 or 2003? I can't remember when we had that big earthquake in Seattle. I was doing a job out on Mercer Island, and all the bridges got shut down because of the earthquake. I got stuck out on the island.
Dude, does nobody remember California when they had the big shake? I mean, they had people trapped on the bottom road between the top road. And I mean, there was a lot of people died in that earthquake, and everybody's like, Katrina this, Katrina that. Remember all the folks that died in the earthquake in California?
Was that the one in the 90s where the highways were collapsing full of people in
Yep.
rush hour?
90s, yeah. It was, I mean, literally hundreds of people were trapped in their cars under concrete for weeks. There was a lot of people died. It completely changed the way they build overpasses, even in Texas. A lot of people died, and billions of dollars of infrastructure were destroyed. Homes, everything. We had a massive influx of people into the state of Texas from California after that earthquake. They were like, no, we're done. It was bad. And then, there's always something. People are like, why prepare? I don't know, maybe for an earthquake that kills hundreds of people and destroys an entire section of a state. How about that one? Or maybe there's this big whirly-bird storm that comes on shore and completely wipes out a city and hundreds of miles of surrounding low-lying land, to where the city to this date, what is it, like 14, 15 years later, still hasn't rebuilt? I don't know.
Been through a lot of stuff, and I think the one that could have turned out the worst if we weren't prepared was a winter storm. We're out of power for I think 2 weeks, and the gas stations weren't pumping. The stores stopped selling stuff after a day or two. And with it being cold during a winter storm, I mean, there are people that could freeze to death in their homes.
My mom, and I've said this before in videos, my mom was real big on being ready for stuff. And I'm sorry I'm bringing this up, but in the early 70s, there was a horrible ice storm here. It lasted for flipping ever. We didn't run out of food, but before this thing was over, my mother and my two older brothers walked 7.5 miles in 3 and 4 inches of ice, and then I don't know, a foot of snow on top of that. I think there was an inch of ice, and then snow, and then ice, and it was, and there was no electricity, nothing. They walked for 7.5 miles one way to get more food, and then walked back. It because the sun had come out. She wasn't sure that the sun was going to stay out, so they went and got more food.
Mm.
I was so proud of myself because my mom let me build a sleigh, like all this stuff and everything, and it was keeping me busy because there was nothing. I was little, and she let me bring the stuff out of the barn in the house, and because we had propane, we had a heater, and I built this sleigh. And then when they got back close to the house or whatever, I think they were about a mile out. They drug the sleigh up there, and that's how they got the groceries the rest of the way in.
Oh, wow.
And because they didn't think about it being, again, they didn't think about how much weight they were going to have to carry this far. There were a lot of people died from that storm, and that was in 73. 73.
It started in the winter of 72, but carried over into 73.
Yeah, the winter storms are no joke because a lot of people prepare for hurricanes, earthquakes, and they don't think about a simple storm that could put them out.
Yeah, I mean, we had it rained for 2 hours. It just happened to be freezing, and then we were out of electricity for 4 days. Right here in 2000 and what was that, 12 or 13, something like that. It was cold.
Was it 2009? We had this snowpocalypse out here.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad, actually.
When were we driving through the Nevada desert and literally white out, foot of snow, we almost died.
It was in February. We were headed to Oregon.
But anyway, if we were in the desert, we were just out, we were close to like Las Vegas, and there was a blizzard. We got lucky, found a little motel. We're still going back to that motel one of these days. And they had one room about the size of a bathroom, and us and the 4 kids slept in it, and we didn't freeze to death. End of story.
The weather out there is crazy. We used to go down to Fallon every fall and in the summer for detachments. One day I woke up and it was freezing and snowing, and then it turned to rain and it rained for an hour, and then the sun came out and it was 90 degrees, and then hail came, pounded everything, and then it froze and snow again. All day after that, it was like every possible weather thing happened within a period of like 5 hours. And
Yeah.
it was just, and after all that, then it snowed all night. I mean, it was crazy. That weather out there in Nevada gets insane when you're at high elevation.
That's, why do you prepare? I don't know, reasons. People have asked me that, and I have to bite my tongue every time. I say, because I'm not stupid. But I don't. I want to say that really bad, but that would be rude. Because I've lived through stuff that had my mom not prepped for, we wouldn't have lived through. Plain and simple. And like I say, she didn't call it prepping. She just called it being ready.
Yeah, that's kind of how I grew up. I mean, we were lucky during that winter storm. The earthquakes weren't even as bad as that, but we had enough extra blankets we could hang up over the windows and doors in the family room, and enough propane to keep the heaters going and dried goods. But that one was actually worse than the earthquakes and everything else we went through.
And yeah, people, like right now, winter's coming up on us. And I'm a bad prepper. I don't have firewood put up. The firewood I put up last year kept us from freezing because we had ice storms last year. And in our house, when the electricity goes out, we're done with heat, except for we have wood heaters. Um, Before we decided to do the whole, we originally bought this place. We weren't going to make it our BOL, and had the chance to go totally electric and save all kinds of money on the heating and cooling bill. That was a real bad idea.
Hmm.
So, oh, that big propane tank y'all see in some of my videos and stuff, yeah, it's not plumbed into the house.
That's a decision we were trying to make with the homestead. Is it's going to cost us 7,000 to hook up to the power grid. For 10 to 12, I could build, a 4 or 5 kilowatt system that is pretty good.
And see, you got wind too, man. So you could do wind generation out there.
Yeah, we were going to do a combination because of the wind. We're up on a hill out there, so the wind comes right through there. It goes south to north.
I don't know if I did on the last live stream. I gotta make sure, but I believe I bought us a windmill tower with gearbox. We're gonna have to come up with fan blades and a downhole pump now, and that's it. Deal with that. Hell, I can make the blades. Seriously, I can do that. I'm a tinsmith. I can do that.
Kaylin said she lives in an apartment, only electricity for heat. She doesn't have an alternative. Those 4 or 5 pound propane tanks. If you get a couple of those, they make those propane heaters that hook right up to the tank and they burn clean. When we had that windstorm or that winter storm knock out power in the winter for about 2.5 weeks, that's what we used in our house to keep our house warm.
Yeah. What are the blind buddies? You know what I'm talking about?
Little buddy heaters, those things are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and they burn clean. You don't have to worry about the carbon monoxide because they've got they heat a catalytic converter to to generate the heat. How many people realize that the little uh, TP shaped rocks that you put in the Dearborn heater? How many people realize that those are not refractory, but yet those are actually catalytic converters? People are like, "Oh, those are so expensive. Don't put them in there." No, you put them in there. Those flipping things make your Dearborn heater not produce carbon monoxide, or as much of it anyway. They're uh, they are expensive, but your heater works better. Your heater burns cleaner. Buddy heater, it's you take one of those jugs and the little propane jugs and you screw on the side. And it's a little radiant gas heater. That's how Jerry always does the whole sitting there in his t-shirt and shorts with the deer blonde.
Mm.
Well, I'm over there shivering to death with thermals and insulated coveralls and stuff because I don't have one. He does. My coffee's always cold by the time I get picked up and it's still steaming hot. I might take you this year.
That's on my list of preps is to get a couple of those little Mr. Buddy heaters. I think one of them will run for, I don't know how many days on a five. I don't want to say exactly, but I thought it was about 3 days on 5 gallons of or a 5 pound can of propane.
Yeah, and that's do not prep those stinking rhino jugs, people. Okay, they're not full. They do not fill the jug all the way up. Blue Rhino or whoever does them The ones, the jugs you get at the convenience store, at the grocery store, whatever, are not full. They're only 3/4 of the way full. You can take a jug to the propane place and get it filled, and the gas will stay in there just as long as the other one will. It's just as safe, and they fill it all the way up. It's important. There's a big difference.
Yeah, Kaylin, those are the ones you see in front of like the Tractor Supply and the grocery stores or Walmart.
They're really not. I wish Biddy Boo's in here. I'm going to be doing a. Huh? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Oh, but she gifted us something when we were in Oklahoma, and I'm going to do a video on it. I don't want to. There'll be more on it, but this thing is like the coolest little camping. That little camping stove you sent me, dude. This thing kicks its butt.
The stove?
Yeah, it's the fuel is basically an aerosol can that you put in the side of this thing and you lock it down, and instant stovetop.
Oh, that's cool.
It is so cool. And they sell the fuel here, and they do sell the fuel for that thing you sent me to, which I think I'm going to do a haversack thingamajigger, and because I've got enough stuff to make a pretty decent scout bag.
Yeah.
What I got left from all you guys gifting me stuff or whatever. I think I may, when I hit 3,000 or whatever, I think I'll just on one of my live streams, somewhere towards the end. I'm not going to let everybody know when I do it, but somewhere towards the end of it, I'll just like drop everybody's name in the hat and drag it out. Nobody's going to know about it until the thing's over and say, "Oh, and by the way, you just won a blah blah blah." I think that's the way I'm gonna do it. My feelings were actually hurt that there was people that didn't claim their prizes off the last one. So it's like, wow.
Oh yeah.
So or if I do it, it'll be, but I hate to limit it to people for a VR or whatever, because not everybody that comes to the channel, not everybody in our community does videos.
Yeah.
So that's not really fair. And
Yeah, do it for everyone. Just because a lot of people don't do videos, and there's a lot of people who even watch it never comment too.
yeah, and it's
I said all the way through. Yeah, you should stand up.
yeah, you wait until BAs is over and then say, "Okay, bye everybody." I'm always just rattle, rattle, rattle. I mostly just try to derail him, but well, I only try to derail him when Sippy's there, because
Yeah.
not there, because then she does it without him. But if she's not doing a really good job, then I'll like just throw something out there and make her read it out loud, and then that'll get him.
Yeah, usually when BA comes on, I'm all over the place just from being pent up and dealing with everyone at work all week. It's like, oh, I can finally talk about something.
Yeah.
WR's out.
Okay, later, WR Moore Electric.
That's my address. That's not been burnt down, so I think
Okay. I'm not really like trying to take anybody out, I don't think. I'm not the crazy redneck that lives out in the sticks and hunts people and eats them. Okay, that really wasn't. Oh, wait, I still haven't made that public. If you want to see it, go to my Patreon channel. It's open. You do not have to be a Patreon to see it. I make pork chops out of Daniel God Is My Judge because he sharpied my face. I don't really do that. I'm actually the cannibal thing started as a joke. The whole long pork thing, it was a joke, and I just ran with it. Okay, I'm not a cannibal. That is my biggest fear of the movie The Road or whatever. I read the book, okay? That book you think that movie will get you to thinking? Read the book. You're just like, oh, wow. Um, they ran into a lot of people on the road. One of the people they ran onto the road was a pregnant woman. And guess what? They scared the pregnant woman and her two whatever off. Not on purpose, but they heard them coming, so the people ran away. And when they got to the campsite, the woman had delivered the baby, and they were cooking everything. They didn't put that in the movie. They put it in the book. In cannibalism is the real fear, not
Yeah,
and
cannibalism.
not just of being cannibalized, but of actually allowing yourself to resort to cannibalism. And it's not a big stretch. Everybody's like, oh, I won't do that. Oh, I won't do that. How hungry have you ever been? And I'm not talking man, I had to skip lunch and supper. I'm going to go get me a breakfast. Oh, I got knocked out of breakfast. I'm going to get me a big lunch. And then you finally get to eat at supper time. I'm not talking that hungry. You want to know hungry? Hungry is when your body is screaming at you that I have to have something. Every muscle, every organ, your brain is an organ. Your brain is screaming at you. Put something in your stomach, you fool. It consumes you. Hunger will consume you. You will get in a dumpster. You will eat McDonald's cheeseburgers that have been spit on by some little kid before they threw it out in the trash. You will eat what there is to eat.
Well, good examples. If you've ever been working and you missed a meal or two and you're hungry because you've been burning a ton of calories, everything tastes good. It don't matter if it's seasoned. It doesn't even matter if it's something you like. You'll eat it.
Yeah, you will eat crawdads out of the bar ditch raw and think they're delicious. And there's Biddy Boo.
She just got home from the hospital. Her surgery went good.
Oh, cool. What was it?
I did the heart surgery.
Oh. Did they find a heart, or did you have to do the Tin Man thing? Anyway, I was telling them about the little stove you gifted us, and I'm gonna do a video on it. Wayne gave me one too, but his was little bitty. Yours like totally kicks its butt. Biddy Boo is at the Oklahoma meeting too. Y'all, she's like a really cool person. Y'all, everybody say hi, Biddy. I have her real name and her address in case y'all want to what just they say burn her house down. What were we talking about? Oh no, that was me burning people's houses down.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah, I've screwed up and been homeless more than once, and I know what it's like to be hungry. Okay, trust me, I know what hunger is, and yeah, people. I'm telling you, people, put up some stinking food. If you can trade, if you've got 4 pistols and 2 rifles, and you can trade 2 of those pistols and 1 of those rifles for 6 months worth of calories, make the trade. You can't eat that gun. And after SHTF, you're not going to get much for it because they're going to be laying around all over the place. guns and ammo. Everybody's like, oh man, you're gonna need this and this and blah blah blah. Gun ammo as a bartering tool. There's going to be bullets everywhere. That's one thing I do not agree with on The Walking Dead. And a deal like that with all the zombies and this, that, and everything else, there's literally going to be bullets everywhere.
There's at least one gun in every home,
Yes.
even a liberal's home.
Yeah. They may not know about it. I can go to Google Earth and draw an X on 4 trailer houses within 20 miles of my house that are adjacent to or rather close to a hill. The side of that hill has a rather, what do we call it? You can't really tell that it's anything but a storage shed. You go through that storage shed, it leads into the side of the hill, which is a bunker that's dug out that literally has hundreds of thousands of rounds of ammunition and 70 or 80 rifles in it. It's crazy. I know one guy, he's got over 200 rifles in his basement, or 200 firearms in his basement, as well as 10,000 rounds of ammunition per weapon. I don't think he has a single bag of beans. He's not going to make it. He's done. Well, actually, he's probably going to kill a lot of really good people before somebody finally takes him out, because he's going to get hungry. Anyway, apparently I'm having a bad day all of a sudden. I don't know why. I feel angry all of a sudden.
Just storing food ain't enough though. I mean, your food's gonna run out. You gotta learn. You gotta have hell. If you don't have a room, you gotta have meat rabbits or chickens. And
Yeah, raising chickens is not as easy as it sounds like.
actually I think raising chickens is easier in suburbia for the fact you don't really gotta worry about too many predators.
There you go. See, we're moving back in town with chickens.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have those kind of issues. There was a small farm out here that we worked from 2009 to 14. The owners lived on another island. They ran a restaurant up on Orcas Island, and we worked around the farm, and they let us have chickens and a few other, like, we had some goats and some chickens, me and my buddy. And because we were so close into town, we didn't really have a lot of predator issues. Not like you have with stuff constantly getting in your chickens.
Yeah, and that's the chickens and goats, and I can't believe nothing's tried with goats yet. It's predators suck, and it's not just predators. There's the little predators that you can't see. What do we 26, 27 chickens we lost to that stupid virus? Boom, boom, boom. They just, like, all of them died.
Is that the thing they were getting on their feet?
No, that's just something that happens. If you have chickens, you're going to wind up with bumbles.
Well, if you have thorns.
If you have thorns, we have all kinds of different stickers around here, and we got cactus, we got mesquite, we got cat claw, goat heads, grass burrs, cuckleburrs, and chickens are always raking around. You get a little cactus thorn in their foot, and it gets infected, and their body actually tries to fight off the infection, and it'll encapsulate it. It's basically I had the name of that cyst. It's a cyst inside a sac inside their foot. If you can catch it small, which I guess I need to do a video of one that has the small bumble on it, where it's just it's a little speck on their foot that looks about the size of maybe a BB, and the foot's barely swollen at all. But if you can catch it when it's like that, but you can't see it, you literally have to go out there and pick all your chickens up and check their feet.
Mm.
And yeah, that's going to take a while. So,
Mm.
but if you can catch one like that, you literally soak their foot in water for a couple of minutes. You know, warm water, scrub it real good, break that around that little black dot or whatever, and give it a squeeze and a push. And this little deal about the size of about the size of this. Show y'all. When the camera comes back on, if the camera comes back on, about the size of this little fake acorn right here. That's
Oh wow.
it'll pop out, and you got this little, like that little ring. That's not to scale, but about that size of a black dot, and then you pop it out, and then that'll come out. And I've actually cut one of them open, and I found the piece of mesquite thorn in it, and like those, and then you put a little medicine on it. You don't even have to do anything else. Put a little antibiotic ointment, and uh, just wrap a piece of gauze around it with a little piece of tape so it'll stay on there for an hour or so, and let the chicken go.
Do we have brambles in Texas? I don't know what brambles.
Yes. They're briar bushes. Yeah, cat claws are a form of bramble.
Hmm.
We don't have
we have,
blackberries. Go ahead.
oh sorry. We actually got really lucky because at the time, I mean, I didn't know anything about chickens or anything about farm animals other than friends that I'd known that had farms that I grew up with, and we just built cages and pushed them around the yard every couple of days. They had little wheels on them, and I'm really lucky nothing happened to those chickens because I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time.
Yeah. And whatever you do, do not let this guy build your trucks. Those are called trucks, the little cages that you move around. Because I'm like, okay, if this is cool, then if you add this and this and this, it'll be that much cooler. And then you can't move the truck. I'm just saying that I told her that it did not need a chicken house on it, and I didn't want it to be a crappy chicken house, so I made it real sturdy chicken house. And yeah, it's not on there anymore because, well, that was just stupid. It's still heavy as crap, though, isn't it?
Still takes 2 of us.
It's a good truck, though. I feel like a whole herd of chickens up in there. But yeah,
We were really lucky. I mean, I just bought a bunch of chickens off Craigslist. Half of them I got for free, and built a cage. And I was like, I got chickens now.
there you go.
Didn't do didn't do no research or anything.
We were like, okay, we got chickens. What do we need to know now? It's funny. I need to go back to doing chicken videos and stuff. That's most of my, believe it or not, nobody cares about prepping. Everybody wants to know about chickens.
Mm.
Then I've got all these people that could treat me. Well, you know what? You should take that bird to the vet. How about you pay for it?
Well, the stuff with the animals is interesting because most people don't know how to do it. I've been learning sheep the last year, and nobody out there likes goats. I want to have goats, and nobody likes them because they get into the fedra and they go all crazy.
Oh, battery's good. Okay, hold on. I'm trying the video somebody doing. So hold on. This is just my thing. Let me see.
Oh, I thought you were in bed because some jerk had his alarm going off.
Hey, take half a step. Oh, too much. No, a little bit more. The light's in my. There we go. Oh, there's no memory card in here. You're so lucky. Oh well, all that for nothing. Oh, hey.
You like his rotting flesh?
Yeah, actually, that's disgusting.
I did it with eyelash glue and cotton.
There's a dead guy over here. In case y'all are wondering, they're like practicing their we're going to be zombies for whatever, I guess. I don't know. What? Oh, man. Try it again.
Turn face that way a little bit.
Your face.
The Elmer's glue and thin layers works good for zombies.
Well, I told her I think it's funny that you talk about prepping and apocalypse and stuff, and she's making me a zombie.
Oh wow! Look at the flash. What the flash did to his eyes.
Eee. I got it on my hand too.
I can't see that, can you?
Oh, you can actually kind of see it.
That's a Yeti. Wow.
I just wanted to show you. We're going back into the
Okay.
arcade.
Dude,
That's
you
good.
should probably go to the doctor, man.
Probably get that neck checked out. Stressed it out.
Maybe a zombie.
Yeah,
Actually,
they're growing eyes. You know, they do what they want to do.
Good tip, Betty Boo. The cayenne pepper works for a lot of good things in the winter. I put it on my socks, keep my feet warm, my blood circulating. Excuse
You
me.
know, I keep cayenne pepper around so I can throw it in the trash periodically. I deliberately bought you chili powder today. That's how much I love you, honey. I even read it twice to make sure it didn't say cayenne pepper because I always buy the wrong one. What? I hate chili powder, and I honestly think that whenever she would tell me to get chili powder, I would just subconsciously grab cayenne pepper because I knew she wouldn't put it in the food.
You can
She's
make a salve.
she's actually really responsible with chili powder, but it's
You
I
know
don't
the
like,
longest. Oh, sorry.
nah.
The longest time I didn't know that the flavor in chili actually comes from the cumin, and I used to just dump chili powder and dump chili powder in my chili and try to get it to taste right.
Yeah. People always think that that stuff's just for like going on the top of eggs. Or no, that's paprika. Whatever. I mean, why would you grind up something just to have something red to sprinkle on top of food? No, paprika has a taste. Um, what's that? What's that white stuff? Cream or tartar or whatever? Isn't it like a thickening agent or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's man, I can't even use that over here after being in the Middle East and having the real stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a Turkish thing. I think. Oh, Iranian or Turkish, I can't remember.
I would just like to point out that I bought a knife today, or a couple of knives today, but it's not stainless steel. I was so excited. In fact, he found a pocket knife that's not stainless steel. Um, now I gotta like quit touching it, or I'm gonna make the blades rust. It, everybody, I strongly suggest that you find a good carbon steel blade and hold on to it, because using knives as long as I've used knives and as many different kinds of knives as I've used, and this includes the buck stainless steel knives, stainless does not hold an edge like carbon steel. It just doesn't do it. And there's some really good stainless steel knives out there, but there's no comparison between a good high carbon steel blade and a stainless steel blade.
Hey,
Stainless steel is a really serviceable material, and they're good. You can get a good blade that will hold an edge, but the same knife with a mediocre quality high carbon steel blade is still going to hold an edge better than the stainless.
you don't even have to spend a lot of money to get a good carbon steel blade either. Those French Opinels and Moros are awesome blades.
Yep. Dude, I know I can go get one for 30 or 40 bucks or whatever, but that flipping Moro you sent me, dude, I'm gonna have a hard time paying that one forward. It's
Go
just
ahead and keep it, man, if you want it.
that
If You-
Pretty.
that one I left in the vinegar too long and it took out the tiger stripe pattern.
Um,
It originally had a pattern on it.
oh, really?
Yeah.
The
But I started working around the house and I forgot it was sitting in the vinegar and then it got too dark.
oh man, how long have we been on here? Huh? It's supposed to be like the gatekeeper. Of... Were you just gonna let us run all night?
Yeah.
I think she enjoys being in the chat. It's the only thing I can figure. Because, so like, are you batching it tonight, Westwind, or what?
Yeah, weather operator's on deployment, so I'm batching it till she gets back.
Wait, is some stainless steel magnetic? When did that happen?
It depends on what it's blended with. If it's got enough ferrous material in it, it'll be magnetic.
Now I gotta check this one. Oh man, those blades might not be stainless. Now I'm sad. I'm not talking to anybody else. Aluminum's not magnetic.
No, definitely not.
So what are you going, or where are you hiking next, man? Are you doing any more hiking videos?
I was gonna do one up to Lookout Mountain or hike the glacier on the other side, but I got this thing coming up. The Northwest coordinator wants to plan a group hike and do a survival skills thing. So I'm gonna go out with him and we're gonna do survival skills with a group.
See, man, I'm like all jealous of you. You have like people wanting to do like cool stuff like that, and me and Grouchy can't even get people to go to IHOP.
I was gonna ask how you guys do that because um the coordinator out here, he's really organized, really coordinated. He kind of plans it like he speaks about solar or something, and then I did a presentation last time on planning and get home bags and stuff to keep in your car and how to plan around all the bridges and rivers out here. And Mark Chase brought some stuff in too to show. And this upcoming one, we're going to talk about bugging in, or not necessarily bugging in, but 72-hour kit to build off of, to build your preps off of in your home. And we're doing it kind of like a almost like a seminar, and there's no I think they're going to try to add more time because your guys' look more like a social gathering, like everyone's kind of hanging out and talking.
Pretty much, yeah. The but we're just what we've been going to are the meet and greets, the actual after you've met and greeted and you decide, okay, we're going to be a group and or we're going to get together and do this regularly. Are different. Uh, Grouchy, you still in here? Grouchy is probably has to work tomorrow, so he's probably not. He's doing the one on his is the 11th, and I'm going to be trying to do one. This is not an announcement video, so don't hold me to this. The 17th, which is the following Saturday, and because he's aiming at specifically the Permian Basin area, which is a really big area. I didn't just call out his location; it's a flipping huge area. Which he's probably going to have more luck than we do up here because the people in my part of the world are all they don't talk. I was a service technician, and I've been in your stuff, and I know who you are, and I know what you're doing. I mean, you can't fake me out. I wouldn't have known what was going on had I not been one myself. But when you got people with that much stuff in there, you don't run your head either, and you don't point them out, and you don't call them out or nothing like that, because it's not cool. OPSEC is easy. I mean, you just don't tell people about other people's business. If somebody wants you to know, like if Kaylin wants y'all to know something about her, she'll tell you. If she wants me to tell you, she'll tell me to tell you. Or Uncle Al, same thing. If he wants you to know something, he'll tell you. If he doesn't want to tell you and wants me to tell you, he'll tell me to tell you. But if he didn't tell me to tell you, I ain't tell you nothing. Because it ain't none of your business. See, I wouldn't have told people about you and your thing with sheep, because that's none of my business. How does the weather operator feel about you liking sheep?
Well, she likes having someone around that butchers them.
There you go.
Did you know how sheep have multiple stomachs?
Yes.
Really? She did.
I didn't. I never butchered sheep, or I knew cows did, but I was pulling stuff out, and I'm like, how many stomachs does this thing have?
How many do they have?
The last one had two big ones. There might have been, I don't know if they're in stages like cows, but there's definitely two big ones in there.
You know what? They do the cud thing, so yeah, they would have to have a storage facility and then a processing facility. So that's going to mean goats got two stomachs too, eh? Because they cud.
Or they just don't because they're pure evil.
Dude.
Goats are awesome, though. I do like goats. Nobody else likes them, apparently.
Cow has 4. I think a sheep has 4. I think.
They would have to have at least 2 to chew their cud.
But
See,
no, I think they have 4. They're not all called a regular stomach, but I think they basically have 4 stomachs.
well, see, like deer chew their cud too, but their little secondary stomach thing is really not that much to brag about. They're made, everything's made different. Basically, I guess they would have to have some way to separate the stuff, like, because they eat it, they pack it in, and then they sit down somewhere and they go, It's disgusting.
And those things are packed full, man. They're heavy. Pulling them out, it's like, I don't know how they walk around like that.
I don't know how you feel about this, but like a rabbit, a lot of people, after they shoot a rabbit, they clean it and they throw everything away, right?
Yeah.
If the rabbit can't eat anything that you can't eat, okay, or to kill him. So when you catch the rabbit or you kill the rabbit, you take it out and you literally boil the stomach. It's going to taste like you're eating the guts or something that was in a stomach, but it's perfectly edible. Every rabbit that you kill comes with its own built-in salad.
You can also eat the bones on rabbit too.
Yes. For all you people who are planning on running to the hills, you're sneaking around. I'm going to get me a rabbit. You shoot the rabbit. You skin the rabbit. You cook the rabbit. Okay? You take and you eat the meat off the bones. You don't throw those away or throw them in the fire. You take them and you hit them with something. You break them open and you throw them in the pot and then you boil them. Ooh. And just for the record, before you skin the rabbit, singe them and burn as much of the hair off as you can, and then rub them with a stick, whatever, and then skin them if you want to. And then take that skin and throw it in the same water that you threw the bones in and boil it. And after you do that, you boil it real slow for a couple hours, you have this real fatty broth. That's actually pretty good. No lampreys. No lampreys. No mountain oysters. I
Haven't
don't know.
had lamb or oysters.
If I guess if they was cooked good enough, but yeah, I don't know. Man, I eat a lot of things that I ain't never been able to bring myself to do that one.
The problem with brain tanning Savage is I can't get the head. Soon as I cut the head off, someone grabs it and throws it in the fire. But we do lay the hides out and suntan them, and it actually works pretty decent on sheep.
Yeah, I mean, you can either use the brain to tan the hide, or you can cook the head and eat everything.
It's the cheek meat that they like.
Brain is actually delicious. It really is.
I don't eat brain.
I didn't used to eat. I used to didn't eat kidney either. I
Yeah,
eat kidney now.
I mean there's certain things I don't eat. I don't eat a liver. I don't eat the brain. Um, Liver's actually terrible for you.
Really? That
Yeah,
is.
it's a filter for the body. It's where all the toxins go.
Toxins go.
But the survival people say that you have to eat the organs so you can get the vitamins and the minerals.
I mean, if I'm starving, I'll eat damn near anything. I mean, but
Well, I mean, I wouldn't like pass up on steak all the time and eat nothing but liver. I mean, like that would probably be a bad deal. But
yeah,
I don't think eating, you got this little liver, got this whole rabbit. I don't think.
and they usually like we'll split it up so everybody gets some, and I'll take some not to be rude, but I don't like the liver.
Man, liver's like, I love liver.
You either like it or you hate it.
And, the kidney, I never thought, I was like, well, I'm gonna eat that. And then I cooked it and I ate it, and I was like, that's delicious. um, if you like chicken gizzards, you're gonna like kidneys. There you go. I said it. Uh, and I think that's what somebody told me, that the mountain oysters or whatever basically taste like kidneys, but I ain't got to that point yet. The first guy I ever saw eat one, he ate 7-second cat fries. You know what a 7-second cat fry is? You take it at body temperature, you put it in the boiling hot grease, and you go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, and you eat it. I'm like, that's raw, dude.
Ooh, cow tongue, that is good.
The cow tongue is good. What is that? What's the word for it? The lingua? Lingua?
Oxtail's good too.
Oh man, I'm loving some oxtail. I like backbone soup, period. But see, that's the oxtail and the backbone stew. It's because it has the spinal tissue in it,
Mm.
which is made out of the same stuff the brain is.
Oh.
It's really fatty. It's good for you.
What else is good? Ham hocks.
Unless I have to. Yeah. I don't have to right now.
Nope, to all of you. What are they? Justade, you're from like Great Britain or whatever, dude. Y'all eat like some throw it off stuff. You should do some recipe videos,
No,
dude.
you cannot say they eat thrown off stuff. Some of the stuff you eat.
British food's off the wall.
What do you mean some of the stuff I eat? I ain't ate anything weird in months. What's weird? What do I eat that's weird?
Everything. Not eating gizzards.
I
not
forgot
eating
she can see
liver,
this.
Not eating cow's tongues or anybody's brains or
What anybody's? We're not talking about people brains.
all the critters. I'm not eating none of that stuff until SATF. If I make it to the end, then I'll see about it.
What about bunny tails?
Nope.
No bunny tails?
I ain't even eating rabbit, period.
What about
She-
squirrel?
I ain't eating squirrel.
She just made me think of something that's wrong.
Yeah. Apparently, I gotta have a lot more groceries than her because I'm gonna eat a bunch of that stuff. Squirrel's good. A little tree rat. Tartar. Steak tartar is good.
I ain't eating oxtail stew. I ain't eating none of that.
And see, that's Gray Man. She won't eat the giblet gravy. I mean, I actually save all the chicken necks and stuff so I can make soup, but she won't eat it.
Nope. I wouldn't eat that nasty chicken and dumplings you ate the other day either.
You need to watch your mouth. Nothing nasty about chicken and dumplings, especially not that chicken and dumplings. What was the name of that place again? Matilli or Millie or Mil. I got it. I got a picture. Dude,
I,
it's delicious. The food is. But anyway, right.
I got a list of stuff I can't eat now because of the beliefs, weather operators' beliefs. I can't eat gator anymore. I can't eat frog legs, and I can't eat snakes.
Why can't you eat gator?
I don't know. They don't eat reptilians and things that crawl on the ground like that, I guess.
So, if it's not too invasive, what's her belief system?
Uh, they think it's bad if you eat it, like gators, snakes, frogs, stuff like that that crawls on the ground like that. I don't want to get too into it, but
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I know people like that.
I like snake sauteed with butter and garlic, and I like frog legs and gator tails, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, frog legs are delicious, snakes delicious, and gators delicious. How about turtles?
Uh, she hadn't said nothing about turtles. They swim, so it's kind of a fish.
What about water snakes?
Ooh, that's gonna be a fight.
I'm just trying to help you out, man.
I'm gonna talk her into eating rabbit. She's never had rabbit. Believe it or not, she doesn't have a problem eating, gutting, skinning anything. You know, she grew up sustenance living. But when I talk about, hey, I want to get some meat rabbits. Oh no, they're cute. We don't eat rabbits. We're gonna eat rabbits.
Wait till she reaches in there to pet one of them bucks and one of the does is all eating out or whatever, and he does that kicking and jumping and clawing and tearing the hide off and stuff. She'll be like, okay, we eating this one.
Oh yeah, they're nasty when they kick.
I mean, after a rabbit gets a hold of you with that kicking business, you understand why something attacks it from behind. You know why the fox comes in over the back. You know why the cat comes in over the back because you don't want to be in front of those hind legs. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did meat rabbits growing up. I don't care to do the. I don't believe that meat rabbits are. I don't think you get a big enough return on your investment.
I just wanted to try a small scale, just to try it out.
Well, if you have, how do I put this? If you have a way to make your own rabbit food, which is really not that out of the ordinary, they need grass and weed seeds.
Yeah.
Don't try to keep people seriously do not try to keep a rabbit alive on lettuce. They'll starve to death.
Well, yeah, lettuce has no nutritional value. They still need nutritional value like we do.
They have to have grains and roots and stuff. They'll They like carrots, but a carrot won't keep them alive either. They got to have more than the carrot. They have a high metabolism, and I don't know if you've ever watched, but you'll see a rabbit walking around and there's nothing there, and you'll see them bend over and touch their nose to the ground. You're like, why are you eating dirt? They're not eating dirt. They can see the weed seeds. They're literally licking weed seeds up off of the dirt and eating them. They sit there and eat grain all day long. They just eat little tiny grains. And they'll eat the right kind of weeds, and they'll eat tree bark and stuff. And they like fresh grass, but they don't just eat grass or lettuce or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I like raising rabbits is a big pain in the butt if you do it on. We did it on large scale. Small scale may not be that bad. Large scale, no. I can't see them all. I can see the silhouette.
Yeah, I just want to try a small scale with a few rabbits just to test it out, learn how to do it, and decide if we like it or not.
Come on, I got taking this picture.
Show you too, babe.
My lips are numb.
Your lips,
Show you
his
too.
lips are numb. Here he comes. Y'all want to see a dead dude? Look at that dude. I get a picture for posterity. Say hi. Say hi to the Navy folk.
Hi, Navy folk.
Hey, what's up?
Hope that's the wrong button. I'm like, I just recorded my desk. Yeah. That's Shane, everybody.
The cool thing about if you decide you don't like it, you can eat them.
There's yeah. You're such a cute, fluffy little bunny. Go all Schmeagol on him.
After the kids give it name.
Yeah.
No, we got those too, Uncle Al. I hate those things, nutrients or whatever they call them. Some guy here on some guy in Camino Island imported a ton of them because I guess their fur make good coats. Well, he went under and he just released them on the island, and they swam across the channel of the mainland and started spreading everywhere.
Oh, that's not good.
Now we've had those for a while now, at least 10 years.
I come home from school one day. I was maybe fourth grade, fifth grade. And I said, "Hey, Mom, what's for supper?" And she said, "Buck." And I was like, "What?" And she said, I said, "What?" I'm like, "What?" She said, "Buck." And I went running outside, went to the barn and checked, and sure enough, my rabbit was gone. I was like, "Why?" She goes, "He went to kicking." Oh, okay. It was a rule.
My grandpa bought the kids. My dad was telling me when they were kids, Grandpa bought them all pet rabbits. They named them and they fed them and they raised them. And one night they came home from school and Grandma was cooking dinner and she cooked up all the rabbits.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that's messed up. The oh, they open the door and I can see they're watching some on TV. It's Deadpool. You were talking about them nutrias, Nutra.
Nutria, we just call them nutrients. I think it's Nutra or something.
Nutra, yeah. Getting released up there. Something that I've thought about a lot is what is let's say, okay, scenario. There is a humongous mass coronal ejection. Two of them back to back. And one of them smacks one side of the earth and then coming right behind it as the Earth is rolling around, the other one smacks that side. The grid goes down. There's so much energy produced by them that it actually causes the wobble to get worse. And it causes earthquakes, and all the infrastructure is wiped out. Nothing electronic works. Half the people starve, 90% of the people starve in a year. Okay.
So
There's
Thanos snaps his fingers.
what is it? Little Blue Aliens, whatever. That book again. Thanks for those books, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. I apologize for the pagan stuff in them. I totally didn't even think about that when I sent them.
It's okay. I just preach Charlie. You're so ignorant. No, I don't do that. The what is wildlife in North America going to look like? Because while all the people may die, guess what? Their exotic pets, not so much.
Yeah, it's that guy that thinks he needs like 4 lions and a tiger that bother me.
You got lion. We're going to have lions and tigers. We're going to have different kinds of pigs. We're going to have the stuff from the zoo. Those people that are at the zoo, they're like, I can't leave these animals to starve. They're going to open the doors.
We got a bunch of hippies on this island. They have a predator preserve, and they got wolves and cougars, and I don't know if they got a lion or a tiger. They got all kinds of stuff that does not need to be here. That guy bothers me.
Well, you've got, there's going to be African serval cats. There's going to be jaguars. There's going to be leopards.
Jaguars are the worst, pound for pound.
Pound for pound. If you had what is it, a 600-pound tiger, and I know they don't get that big, but a 400-pound jaguar against a 600 or 700-pound tiger, my money's on the jaguar.
Yeah, jaguars are they're something else.
I honestly think that a jaguar could take out African lion. I mean,
It wouldn't surprise me.
Uh, they have the most aggressive and effective kill technique on the planet. They don't strangle nothing. They jump on it, crush its skull, and kill it. Anyway, they're not afraid of water. They can swim. They can dive. Humans are scared of barramundi because they'll knock them out. Jaguars jump in the river and eat them.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, think about it. I mean, it's not going to be all. Oh, look, there's Bambi. And what about the big orange cat that was watching you shoot Bambi? It's the after is gonna be full of suck. Let's put it that way. If something like that happens, it's going to be a completely new world.
Might be a good idea to release some pigs.
Yeah, it's the world could use some feral hogs. Trust me.
Yeah, in that scenario, if you could release some pigs, it would probably be a good idea.
Yep, and that's going to be the one saving. I mean, honestly,
Night, Lily.
I didn't even know she was in here.
Jumanji, yeah, pretty much.
Good night. Hi, Lily. Good night, Lily. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Wow. But yeah, there's going to be a need for feral hogs.
Elephant is not going to be as bad of an issue as a hippo.
Yeah, feral elephants ain't going to worry me too much, but feral hippos, that's going to be a problem.
I'm not worried about feral elephants. They pretty much keep to themselves unless you mess with them.
Can you imagine you out there trying to catch some of them Asian carp out of the Mississippi, and the next thing you know, you're surrounded by hippopotamuses?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
That's not going to be good. Can you imagine trying to go across the Mississippi? You're like, okay, we're going to run a freight business. we're going to take stuff from the East Coast to the West Coast. All we got to do is paddle our little canoes across the Mississippi, and you're surrounded by hippopotamuses.
Giant water swine.
Yeah. And they're not going to have, let's put it this way, they don't have to worry about drought putting them out of business here like they do there. So they're going to get bigger. Yeah. Trust me, you're going to want to swing well north to cross the Mississippi.
They're more.
Beaver bear. We're going to have to worry about beaver bear too. But yeah, Mrs. brought up something that's probably pretty pertinent to all of our lives. What do you think all the exotics would be hunted to extinction as well as the domestic wild? That's the thing. Unimpeded reproduction. All animals can smell good. So if 100 exotic antelope in the state of Texas survive, but each one of them's 100 miles apart, they're still going to find themselves. All you got to have is a male and a female, and then there you go. I don't think that all the exotics will be hunted off. No, I do not. I mean, if that was true, then the Russian boar that got released wouldn't have made it. There are wild sacred deer all over the place. There are wild aoudad all over the place. There are some places there are actually wild emu running around in this state. Or I've heard those people are trying. I think they eradicated most of those. I know they got all the ostrich, but there will be wild llama. There will be wild. Well, I don't know. The alpaca might not make it because they cut that whole bird thing. The camels will come back. There will be horses. There will be buff cows because apparently American bison and cattle can breed and they do not go mule. The offspring are viable. They can reproduce.
Mules
So, not mules. If a horse and a donkey breed, the mule can't reproduce. But if a American bison and a Hereford crossbreed, their offspring can reproduce.
Yeah, we have those out here, beefalo.
Mm-hmm. And so the DNA from the cattle, which are meatier, skeleton for skeleton, are going to get in with the buffalo, and the American bison are going to be more like the bison of old than the bison of today. I've seen a big bull beefalo. Whoa.
Those things are scary. Just a wall of meat and muscle. Meat and bone and muscle.
You're just like, hi, nice big animal. What's happening? Don't hit me. Somewhere I have a picture of a buffalo smelling the rearview mirror on my truck. I was like, please just walk on. I'm so sorry. I had to come down this road. And then you got elk. I don't think the elk will make it in Texas. I think they'll die off. They don't do real well. They are down here. But the wolf will come. I mean, it won't be the same. It will not be the same world. It will not be people friendly like everybody thinks it is.
The elk will be one of the first to die off because they don't breed under stress. So part of the problem they have where they release the wolves where they think it's a good idea, the elk stop breeding because they're constantly being chased by another super predator.
Yep. And that's I mean, wolf in a natural ecosystem, wolves are important. So just like grizzly bears are, there used to be grizzly bear and black bear in Texas. There's not anymore. Well, not this part of Texas anyway. Grizzly bear ranged all the way into Mexico, I believe. And we've killed off everything. And when we disappear, everything's going to take over. You know, or not. I don't take over is probably the wrong word. Reclaim the thing, and there will be new things emerge. I honestly, because I believe that ligers and tie-ins are viable too. I don't believe they mule. I don't believe they're. I don't believe they're sterile. Coy dogs are not sterile. Uh,
Yeah.
and the coy wolves are not sterile. A You cross a coyote and a wolf, and that animal can breed. You cross a dog and a coyote, and that animal can breed. It's yeah. I don't know why horses and donkeys don't work. But they don't.
I think
Weird.
mules are kind of cool.
Mules are cool. Can't have a mule though, because the whole actually it's against the rules for talk about something nobody pays attention to when they're talking about the law or whatever. You want to be Torah observant, you can't have a mule. Uh, you can't eat buff cow, buffa cow. So you can't allow species to breed one to the other.
We have a beefalo farm up here.
But
There's a guy in our island that's got a bunch of beefalo.
and the fact that we call it they're a viable species or subspecies or cross species or whatever. How many of the cattle, the free range cattle running around in this part of the or in this country actually have buffalo DNA? Turner's thinking about wiping out his entire buffalo herd because it's got so much cattle DNA in it.
The Longhorns, they're a cow that you can actually release. I think they're the only cow that can actually survive on their own.
Yep. If they can get through the fence, they'll be all right. But most of your longhorns are fenced because they are a rather they're not all that domesticated.
Yeah.
They You got to have a good fence to keep them in. So,
No, were cows originally brought over by the Spanish?
yeah, the Spanish brought over the horses that got loose and the cows that got loose. And if you think about it, the Spanish cows that they brought or whatever, they were basically meat and dairy cows. Um, Spain has a pretty hardy string of cattle over there, if you will. Their bulls and stuff are super athletic.
Oh, okay.
And
So I know
yeah,
they used to drop
African
pigs off.
cow, which they have here in Texas now, they actually have ranches that specifically grow just those little dwarfy, skinny African cows or whatever. Those will make out just fine if they can learn to live without human help. That's the problem. Most of the domestic animal or livestock is going to have they become dependent on human beings.
Yeah.
The point where they don't know how to find their own water, how to have their like dairy cows. They're done. The ones that are bred specifically for dairy, they're done. None of them will make it. They'll all die.
Well, yeah, they're completely dependent.
Um, Now their DNA may make it because some of the bulls are pretty tough, but the females they're just not going to hang, and that's going to depend on whether or not the bull can actually find it within his core to remember how it's actually done in the real world.
Well, the dairy cows, they have to be milked, or they'll have all kinds of problems.
All kinds of trouble. I'm going to call down on Tom again. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for hanging with us for so long. I did not mean to keep y'all in here all night. I did not mean to spend all night in here. I love y'all. I want y'all to be blessed. I want y'all to stay alive. I don't want you to die. Don't want you to get eaten by a tiger bear either. So, or a elephantopotamus. That would be messed up. You want to tell them bye, Wayne?
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate some of you came over and subscribed to my channel. I appreciate the support. Have a good weekend.
Yep. And don't forget. Oh yeah, I think we're supposed to say this every time. Like, share, subscribe, or whatever. Anyway, y'all, thanks for supporting him over there. If you got anything you want to see or whatever, comment in the video or something, and I'll see what I can do about getting the video up. No promises. I'm not that crazy. Anyway, God bless y'all. Y'all stay alive. Don't die.